can of beer and like shotgun it, right? You'll take like car keys and like pop it, like kill the thing. They did that to him, but with a can of spray paint.
Dude, anything to catch a buzz.
So the goal is to make him into Pepe the Frog, right? Yeah. So they take this whole can of spray paint and they're just like, boom, and they like insta paint his whole face.
I think they could have used the spray part.
They want it. He's resisting, Woody. We don't have time.
I don't know. The spray part's pretty good at painting.
But they are essentially raping his face with paint. He wants no part of any of this, and they are live streaming it to the audience, and he is begging them to stop. And it's sometimes he'll like get enough energy in him to like really go to town on one of them, and like you know how it's like to hit a heavy bag. Like even like when we're in shape, it's like whoo.
Oh, you wear out quick.
Couple minutes and you're dead. He's got a couple seconds.
Yeah.
He's got one of these in him and he'll rough him up a little bit, but then he's like down for the count again. They're on him. They're on him like fucking like Andy Dufresne.
Very dangerous for 10 seconds out of every 5 minutes.
Yeah, like every now and then he's like this like gorilla who's been tranquilized and he just comes out of it and he's on one of them. And they've accepted it. They go, don't hit back. Don't hit back. Because like they'll let him beat on them a little because they know he's going to go back down and then get right back on him with the paint. So when they're done, he is full on Pepe the Frog with like big white silver outlines around his. And he wakes up and he's just like, "What is this? What is this?" Oh, looking back, the silver I think was the spray paint, and maybe I think they used like the glue you use to like paint a construction model to like paint his face green because he wakes up and you know he's all green and shit, and it's all over his clothes.
And like I know we've talked about his Pepe face before, but like thank God they used green because they gave him some big red Al Jolson 1917 lips.
Yeah,
in that. Yeah,
brown would have been a bad look. That
would have been, dude. Imagine like that being a prank you play on someone is like he's gonna wake up and it's gonna ruin his entire life. Oh, no. He's gonna wake up with black. We used Sharpie paint. It's acrylic. It's gonna it's either this is his look or he's got no face skin.
I don't watch a lot of Blade. Every now and then someone goes, "Have you seen what happened with Blade?" And I'm like, "No." And then they send me the link. This is how it goes down.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what he's been up to lately, but I would bet real money that he has done blackface before. Actually, let me Google OnlyUseMeBlade blackface.
Oh, let's take bets. I have $2.50 says he not the full $5. Don't go nuts. $2.50 say no blackface.
Oh, hold on. I'll say $5. If someone else painted it on him, does that count or no?
Oh yeah, it counts.
That makes this way harder. I'm still gonna go no. It has to be a different answer. No, he hasn't.
I think he's done it. So $2.50 to each of you is what I'm going to do. Right. That way I'm out $5. OnlyUseMeBlade blackface.
OnlyUseMeBlade blackface.
This is a fun game.
Come on, no. Come on. I'll look up and see.
I'm looking, like I'm digging through the internet.
Nope.
I'm seeing a lot of pictures of Blade, and some of us reacting to him as well.
Earlier,
poor guy.
Well, it doesn't look like he's done blackface. I will. Yes! I only have to pay. I only have to pay you if no one puts blackface on him this week.
No, this is bullshit. You can't conscript an army of racists to do this for you.
Tell that to the president of the United States, Taylor.
Give me a link to a clip, I guess, from maybe a month or so ago. I don't know, but it was of Blade, and someone OnlyUseMeBlade, a profoundly alcoholic man who drinks more than most people. A lot, and I got linked to a clip. And like, I have no relationship with him at all. And like, there was a clip about met him and said hello. Like that was, we really didn't chat that much. It was I was a nothing in 2011 in Boston when we showed up. I was this fucking, young kid, and like you guys were the real ones, like chatting and all that kind of stuff. But like someone sent me a link and they were like, hey, someone asked about PKA talking about Wing or Blade, and he responded to it. And of course, he's fucking wasted as shit. And he's like, PKA, yeah, Woody and Kyle, they're always saying nice things about me. But Taylor, that guy's a weirdo. And I was like, we don't even know each other. Like, I'm a weirdo. Like, I don't think that's fair, friend. He's like, he smoked weed in 2011 and walked into a closet. And it's like, yeah, I was fucked up. And I walked into a room thinking I thought it was the bathroom and it wasn't. And then I went, oh man, I'm fucked up. And I left and then found the bathroom. It's like, I don't think that makes me a strange weirdo.
No, there are other things that make you a strange weirdo.
There's a lot of things that make me a strange weirdo. I was hoping you wouldn't on that. But no, I'm so hurt by that. I'm unbelievably hurt.
I'm just really pleased he's never heard any of the bad things we've said about him, because I always preface when I talk about him.
He doesn't remember.
It's true. Yeah. I start by saying I like the guy that OnlyUseMeBlade used to be, and then I finish by saying the guy he is now is a real wreck.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the deal. He's in real rough shape medically. He looks like he's gonna die soon.
Not to mention ethically. You remember that time that he molested that girl borderline in the back of that RV van when he went back there and grabbed her all up? Remember
in fairness, she barely remembers that.
Remember that? No, she claimed it, and we all saw it on video. Remember that? Do y'all remember that? Do you remember when he groped that girl laying in the bed? Man, I think that's kind of weird behavior, don't you? I think that's a little weird. I would say it's almost legally troubling.
I don't think we need to be like,
why he doesn't like you.
Get fucked.
You know, call the ATF on him.
Yeah, I don't. Thank God those guys don't have weapons on that fucking RV that they all seem to live on. No, I still like some of the content. It's a little sad, but you'll see. Dude, they spray painted his face to look like that Pepe the Frog, and he thought it was like, I don't know, art paint, but it was like just fucking Krylon. They paint bombed him one time. They like took a paint can and like, you know how you like pop a beer and like shotgun it?
Yeah.
Like they did that to a can of spray paint and stuck it in his face and just like instantly painted it because he's passed out drunk. So he's like, you know, easy to do that sort of thing too.
It's a pretty depressing life.
So, you know, that's a good picture, Zach. It's time.
He didn't know that they were doing that to him. Yeah, he was.
You know what's funny is that's the best picture of him in the past 12 years. That's the most flattering photo.
He should be the stand-in. If Wings or Boogie don't show up for the fight, put some gloves on that man.
Yeah, he should be,
dude.
He'd die on the
fight
way
promotion
in,
business. All right, let me ask you
this. He's too sick.
What would it take for us to legally put on a boxing match or
a little gumption, little stick to itiveness? Let's do
it. I don't mean character traits, you cunt.
Yeah, I gotta pull myself up my own bootstraps.
Grab guy.
It sounds like something you can do on a quiet afternoon.
We'll get Ed involved. He'll give us credibility.
All right, we'll let Ed talk to the
ladies and gentlemen.
Accountability and the liability.
It's time. Yeah, and Kyle, you can be that guy.
I can be the announcer guy.
Yeah, I think you do a good job. Don't you?
I would absolutely do a good job.
Ed would be good.
You probably need some more legitimate sponsors than your normal crop.
More than cum pills?
Wow. Drugs you order online. Wow, that's not up to snuff for old Ed. My man's sponsored by fucking Toyota and shit.
You don't have
do you guys not
bong makers?
Yeah, but you're not sponsored by the bong that you put in the fucking freezer. Kyle, you were mentioning before the show that OnlyUseMeBlade is doing really, really well.
Yeah. I actually thought you were serious for a second. I was like,
Billy Tucker is not on the show enough.
I was just thinking about this dude today.
You're adorable.
All right, well, let me hear.
Anytime we talk about Blade, I like to preface the conversation by saying, Blade, if you hear this, I'll never forget when you pull those blunts out of your pocket that you rolled right through airport security with to Seattle
in his camera bag.
in his pocket, right?
Oh, he brought him in his camera bag to PAX East, so I guess he was getting better.
Yeah, this was fucking Seattle. This was West.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude, never gave a fuck. Always had weed on our trips. Always offered it freely. Always very funny. Always drinking, boisterous. He was the drunk, loud guy, but never the drunk, loud bully guy. Okay.
Can I tell my Blade story real quick? It's in line with what you're saying. We're there. We're at this dinner. There's like 16 people at the table, right? And Blade is like hitting shots. And the waitress goes up to him and she's like, your bill's like $85, for his drinks. And he goes, one more. And it was just so fucking baller to me. Like anyone else would have been like, what did I do? He's like, one short, huh? And he had just one more shot and called it good. And he was
that's when he got shithoused at like PF Chang's, wasn't it? We were at PF Chang's and he was fucking tanked sitting there.
Was this
you were there?
East? Yeah. No, the one where we were at the skating rink. And
you were there.
The guy.
That's the night.
It's fucking 1 a.m. and we're walking through a skating rink area and there's like a woman and her baby and she like is pushing her child and like it hits on Blade and Blade's like, oh, we should go back. You should come back to our hotel room or something like that. I was like, okay, well, I'm 18 years old. I would like to go to my hotel room.
I was fucking 25. I was down.
So Kyle, I interrupted. You were saying kind of things about Blade before the takedown.
Yeah. Like every No. I like it. It kind of speaks to Blade's personality. He was always the loud, drunk, friendly guy. And he wasn't always loud and drunk. He just kind of got that way toward the end of the night. Beginning of the night, he was always real chill. I'm like,
amazingly cool.
He's like, you just act like you belong and they let you through here. Anyway, man, I always hate when I see clips of him. It's one of those I don't want to look kind of things.
Yeah, it's
I know he's always I'm not his friend or anything to like call him or like tell him what to do. But every time I see him, he looks worse. He'll look. Sometimes I'll see him and he'll look jaundiced, like maybe something's wrong with his liver, even, or maybe and he drinks so much. And they always show those pictures of his toe, and his toe looks infected or rotten or gangrenous or something. And then I hear, you see him do all kinds of crazy shit. There'll be rape allegations. And
what the fuck?
Yeah. It's a wild ride because for a long time he's been living on a
sexual assault thing.
Maybe you don't know, but like he sort of spun off of Ice Poseidon's momentum.
The last thing I remember about him was he shoved his finger up his ass in on stream.
So far, he had it together. He had it together.
That's
way back
when he
then.
had it together.
Yeah,
Lord,
he's a respectable member of society.
He was indoors.
No wonder.
He was indoors, and it was a
dress.
He was standing on a real floor.
I'm like,
Tucker, he had an address in those days. So Ice Poseidon was doing the thing where he streamed from the camper. They found that like, oh shit, people love to see us rolling down the road, being jackasses, and going to locations and whatever. And so look, I don't follow Blake carefully enough to know the ins and outs of it, but what it seems to me is he lives in a camper now with a bunch of people who are abusive to him, and he passes out every night, and then they abuse him in various ways. They're like, it's kind of funny, but they spray painted his face like Pepe the Frog, so he wakes up like with his face spray painted, with
actual paint.
Yeah, with like Krylon, like they piss on him while he's asleep. They beat the shit out of him.
If you haven't,
there's been multiple allegations. Yeah. I don't want to go
there was a video that we watched. This is a couple years ago now, I believe. But when he was on the Ice Poseidon RV, there was a time, and Kyle, jump in if I'm wrong, that the camera kind of showing the back lane from the front, showing like the table and the microwave and back into the back room of the Winnebago or whatever. And at one point he got up and there was a girl like sleeping, resting in the back. And he like went over there and like got under the covers with her. And there was like movement and not adjusting and getting comfortable for slumber movement.
I've always heard that it was something about,
and she said it was sexual assault, right?
Well, that's about cut and dry then,
And it was also on video, which is a pretty
how? I mean, not how, because it's very obvious. So this was years ago. This you're talking about is not.
So his Winnebago life.
How is he still? Is he streaming?
So he streams from inside the camper. Was it Pauly Shore he had on there the other day? Or was no, it was
Andy Dick.
Andy Dick. Remember Andy Dick?
Andy Dick is another drug addict. Yeah.
Has fallen to only use me blade levels.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I know. Look it up. Andy Dick and Only Use Me Blade are drunk on an RV together.
What?
If you ever want Andy Dick to like come to your place on a stream and like humiliate himself, he'll do it. The guy who was on $6. The guy who's been in like dozens of movies with like A-list actors.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize him. I know his name.
I'm saying for the audience's benefit because, like, I don't know, if you're younger than us, like, you might not know who Andy Dick is.
I mean, he was like an old comedian. What the fuck happened? So what? He went over and hung out with Blade in his RV.
Yeah,
like
and they were and Andy Dick was as fucked up as Blade. Like Andy Dick is like slurring, unable to like keep his like head up. He's out. Like
I thought
he's in as almost as bad a place as Blade.
I thought Andy Dick was going to be there to laugh at Blade, like because he's usually like a quick-witted comedian. Like that's how I've seen him. He's there like looking like he's on methadone or something. They're both like tripping. Like,
dude, I watched
somebody's gonna die on that stream. You know,
dude. Someone is
wait, what platform?
So if you go Blades, I just typed in OUMB. Only Use Me Blade, and I guess that's like one of his like dummy channels. There's a stream from 3 days ago called Sunday Funday Jameson Fire Sales. Like, and so he's just getting like there's I mean, I'm not gonna watch his stream, but like because it's fucking sad. But like it doesn't seem like there's even the thought of content outside of getting destroyed.
Know what it reminds me of? Shoe Nice.
Yeah.
So
I forgot you guys had a huge, or I think you guys had a
he called us a lesbian book club. Well, who's laughing now? You're probably dead.
Is he? I mean,
I just see him on TikTok eating glue and shit, to this day.
Oh,
that's
he's still eating shit.
TikTok is perfect for somebody like him because, like, it works. Like he can eat something in 30 seconds and be just an awful human being.
I had no idea.
Speaking of Blade, all right. So I was on, I think, Public Freakout. That's one of my favorite subreddits, and I like to find good videos for us to watch on there. Not a lot of sad ones this week, but I was scrolling, and it was like streamer slapped in the face, blah 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 blah, and I was like, that looks like Blade.
Safe guess.
Click it, and it's possible this is an older video because I don't follow Blade at all, but I had never seen the video before, and essentially Blade is passed out on what looks like a cot. Like maybe he's in like a fold down bed in an RV. I'm not sure. His pants are around his knees and he's got underwear on and he is freely pissing himself. And someone is putting Solo cups,
Can you see his penis peeing?
No. Someone is putting Solo cups, those plastic cups, underneath and catching the urine. And one is already filled up. And they're sliding a new one under there and catching, and he's like, it's steamy. Whoa. And he's like onto his third Solo cup, and it's just running like it's filling his underwear up. And
he's
like
passed
running
out the whole time.
Oh yeah. And I don't know if it was the same. I get linked a lot of this stuff, but then I definitely found one of them on the Public Freakout thing. Then I saw he's passed out, and the guy smacks him in the face for a donation. Like slaps him pretty fucking hard in the face, and he jumps up and he's like, "What the fuck? What are you doing? You think it's funny?" And he starts calling him the F word and not fuck. And he starts just slapping the piss out of this guy. Blade does. Blade starts slapping the shit out of him. and the guy's like, "I was trying to give you some water. You don't want to be hungover, do you?" And he goes, "Never." And then he starts slapping him some more. Like he had this brief moment of clarity.
I don't drink water.
Is that vodka?
Man, every time you think like, well, this would be a rock bottom, right? It goes lower.
Yep.
That toe looks like he's halfway to Mordor.
Yeah, why did you? I scrolled away from it because he sent it over, and I was just like, "What the fuck? What is this?"
I feel like a strong wind would blow that toenail away.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like when you take a dandelion and make a wish.
What
Wait,
happened?
is it healing? Do I see?
No way.
Yeah, I have a theory.
There's no amount of chicken and kale that's getting rid of this.
I think the reason that the other toenails that need attention so much is the belly. I bet clipping his toenails is a challenge.
Why are you noticing
that's
the
got to
length
be a
of
sad
toenails
day
here?
to get to.
I know.
Wait,
When you
Yeah,
you
if
would
I'm
make
in,
a
yeah.
terrible doctor. Someone's got like a harpoon through their stomach, and you're like, huh. All right, give me the soup. Yeah. I'm gonna need 400 milliliters of soup stat. Don't worry, sir. Help is on the way.
Hey, welcome to Matt Woodworth's, Herbology Center. I'm going to once again prescribe a cup of blended kale. And he's like, I'm going through severe benzodiazepine withdrawals right now. No, little cup of kale that'll turn you right.
George
if you
Foreman
need to feel a buzz,
Benzos, you say? Have you tried the broccoli soup? Yeah. Don't worry. This is awful. So this is the gentleman that we were just discussing. This is his toe, and it is a side effect of his alcoholism.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, so his
And he's probably
alcohol
not
of
eating in
choice
real life.
is Jägermeister. Am I pronouncing it right?
Jägermeister.
Jägermeister. And that's a heavy sugar thing. So he's just pounding sugar drinks all day long, and he has alcoholism combined with diabetes.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
if he's not going to turn around the booze with at all, he at least needs like a seasoned 58-year-old booze hound to give him an intervention and be like, you don't got to get sober, but switch to vodka. You're drinking too much sugar. Like, even that would be a market improvement.
So has a doctor not gotten a hold of him and been like, hey, if you keep doing this, you're going to die?
They literally said, if you keep this up, I might as well take the foot now.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I love
And so-
having 2 feet.
And he didn't stop drinking?
Right.
No.
Well, I mean,
He
had
said
to
he was
drive
cleared to
home.
drink.
so he
Gosh.
couldn't drink until he got back. But
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so
that is unbelievable.
Here's how it happened. He so he used to love video games, and he managed to turn video games into like a career, a little YouTube thing going on.
That's great, yeah.
And he loved drinking, and he managed to turn drinking into a career. Donate for a shot, donate for this,
got
and donate for this embarrassing act, and that just enabled the drinking to sort of spiral into something that got out of control.
I can't tell you how many people in this line of work over the last 15 years that I've noticed have become, and no joke, they become alcoholics. They become addicted to alcohol and then had to go to rehab because alcohol reinforced their entertainment or reinforced the way they were entertaining. And thankfully, most of my friends have gotten out of it because they realized they were in a pit and they were like, oh shit, I got to pull myself out. But it's so super dangerous. There's just, it's one of those things that I have a hard time conceiving of it because I don't have an addictive personality. So it's really hard for me to be like, oh, I get it. Yeah, I've been addicted to this, but I just don't have that.
But you
And
probably
it probably doesn't help them as much as they think. Where like they almost convince themselves like, oh, I need to be drunk to be funny. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, they thought that was funny and I was drunk during that. Got to do it next show.
Alcohol is one thing, but I feel like a handful of people on YouTube or on Twitch or whatever, it turned out not to be a good thing. Like they didn't exit it with fame, fortune, and mental health. It feels like a huge win when you're growing up and you've had a level of success financially you've never seen before. Everybody loves you because everyone loves everyone on the uprise. And then it turns the other way and they weren't smart with their money. They're having a hard time dealing with the hate. And then just after the ride is over, that alternative universe where they just like finish college or something was a better life for them than the ride on YouTube or Twitch or what have you was.
Yeah, no doubt. That's true in a lot of situations.
Yeah. And everybody thinks that they would be good at dealing with, I want to say fame and fortune. I recognize it's this Z level fortune for most people.
You had a lower.
Yeah. But it's still a level of attention that other people don't get, that other people have never had to deal with. And everyone thinks they'd be great at it. And a lot of people are not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So scary.
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's so scary. It's again, and this took me a long time to conceive of this for myself, which was since I don't have an addictive personality, it's hard for me to empathize or sympathize with that because I never get addicted to things. So it's weird because so I've had to really change my thinking about that and instead be like, oh come on, just hey, willpower, buddy, and like it's not that. It ends up becoming like a real problem for people that, and it's in some cases genetic, in some cases disease.
I'm the opposite.
And
do you ever feel addicted to stuff even like food though, where there's just like a snack that you're hankering for, and like the addiction changes all the time. Sometimes it might be pork rinds, sometimes it might be Cheez-Its, or
I think the closest I've gotten to that is Mexican food.
Boogie, you remember OnlyUseMeBlade, right?
No, Lord.
Okay. Call of Duty commentator. His shtick was, back in the Call of Duty. Back in the Call of Duty commentating days, some people had like shticks and bits and like things that made them special. Obviously, people did characters like Dr. Disrespect, or I did a character, and some people did some people were montage makers, some people were commentary guys that their commentary outweighed the value of their gameplay to some extent. But I would put Woody in there. He had good gameplay, great commentary. Like he's really engaging with the community. That was his thing. Well, OnlyUseMeBlade's thing was, I don't use guns, just my knife. And he would only melee in Call of Duty and do fairly well. He'd upload we upload our good videos, right? But he'd upload really good gameplay of him just shank, shank, shank. And he's a real chill voiced guy. And he's just like, hey guys, Blade here. Seemed to have kind of a chill life, taking it easy. Well, these days he's a streamer. He's associated in some way with Ice Poseidon. I think he might be on his streaming network. I don't quote me on that, but he's a raging alcoholic with maybe pre-diabetic, and his feet are rotting off, and he passes out drunk a lot. Yeah. They're virtually gangrenous, like they have open wounds on his feet. That stuff's not funny, frankly, but what is funny is this video right here.
I know the video.
Oh no!
I actually
is this a new thing?
So I got a 1:30 cut. So basically, he passes out drunk a lot, and everybody around him is one of these like shock streamers, I'll call them. They're not necessarily vloggers. Their lives aren't all that interesting per se, but they're gonna get up to something, some hijinks. They're gonna make drama. They're gonna do something to make the viewers entertained. And so what they do when he passes out is they fuck with him. And so they painted his face like Pepe the Frog while he was passed out. And this is him. Yeah, right? You got it.
That's a good bit.
Dude, and so this got is him. To show do you have the images of Pepe? And
I can find them in 2 seconds.
They're in
yeah, well,
they're in Larry's Discord, but I can't mess with Discord because I'm screen captured.
Apparently the ADL made Pepe the Frog a hate symbol. What a bunch of losers.
Are you guys ready to watch this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, play.
Did you pay me or something?
This is him waking up to what they've done to him.
Pay me or something? What's going on?
He's saying, not. Did you paint me?
Dude, this motherfucker doesn't have an ounce of muscle on him. It's all just booze fat.
You're such a faggot, dude.
Oh, that's a mirror he just looked in.
Biggest faggot in the world.
On the door.
Like, I don't know what kind of fucking loser shit you guys are on to paint me, but fuck you, dude. Seriously.
He's skinnier than I thought.
Yeah.
Look at my fucking face.
He's lost weight.
Here's me, dude.
You're a loser, dude. Whatever money you made for pay me now.
I didn't make
Pay
it.
me now.
It did it free stream.
Pay me now.
Fuck.
Pay me now, dude.
Can we talk about it?
Get on your phone and pay me whatever money you made for your fucking loser ass stream, you no content bitch ass stream. Pay me now or get the fuck
Your
off.
stream had
dude.
content. I
swear to God, dude.
Okay, I'll pay you.
Pay me now. Whatever money you made to paint me to look like a fucking clown, dude. Pay me now. Get on your phone, dude. Get on your
Blade,
phone.
you're drunk, dude.
That's my money. Pay me now.
Blade, can you relax?
Pay me now.
Dude?
No, fuck that, dude. I will. You're like a fucking clown, dude. Fuck you, dude.
You look like Pepe the
Pay
Frog,
me
dude.
now. Pay me now, dude.
Relax, dude.
Get on your fucking phone and PayPal me right the fuck now, dude. How much money did you make for fun painting me?
I didn't make any money to paint you.
I have another video that's like far too long and we'd have to skip
Jesus
around in
Christ.
it. But it begins with him not painted and they're just like pouring shit on him. Like it looks like shaving cream or whipped cream or something. They're just like the other day I saw him passed out, pants around his ankles, underwear on, and he's pissing himself in his sleep. and they're just putting solo cups, like plastic cups, under him and catching the piss.
I saw that, and I didn't understand where the pee was coming from in such a consistent stream.
He's pissing out of his underwear, so it finds it's like an icicle, you know. It finds it finds the lowest point of gravity, and then it drips off. It comes, you know, it just flows out.
Okay, all right, this is funny. Yeah. Dude, like Woody, you were saying, it looks like he's lost weight, and I love Woody's wholesome approach to it. You know, the reason that he's lost weight is that
hard work and exercise.
He's moved from the kind of alcoholic that eats sometimes to the kind of alcoholic that never eats.
Like Chuck.
All he does is drink. All of his calories are from booze.
I've known a few.
I choose to believe that's George Foreman chicken and couscous.
I've known a few like extreme alcoholics, and that's the case. Like they don't really eat at all.
Yeah,
like the guy.
How do you not
my
get
dad?
hungry?
My dad had alcoholics who worked for him, and I've talked about him before. I saw a funny video that somebody linked me, like Kyle tells dad stories or something. I sent it to my dad. He loved it. He fucking loved it. And I was talking about some of those drunks that used to work for my dad. They were both kind of skinny because they didn't eat food most of the time. You know, you would ask him, like, we would see Chuck on the side of the road, 45, 50-year-old white guy. He's essentially homeless. He's living without electricity and stuff. And I'd be like, hey, Chuck, you want a hamburger? We just went to McDonald's. We got a bag full. We're taking them back over. And would you like one? Nah, man. Can you run me up the liquor store, though? Chuck, and I want to be like, Chuck, have you eaten today? Because I know he hasn't. Like, he's not hungry. Mm-hmm. I think that when you're that much of an alcoholic and you're like poor, that the idea of drinking on an empty stomach it's like bonus liquor. It's like you're making money if you don't eat.
Oh, yeah. It's like you're getting drunk faster.
You're getting drunk faster and harder and staying drunk longer because there's no food in your system. It's just the alcohol. And
if I get drunk on an empty stomach, I feel pretty terrible.
Did we talk about the video of Blade's legs on any of our shows recently?
No, but I did see a clip on the subreddit of people pouring Jaeger into his open leg wound.
Oh, then I haven't seen this. Okay, so there's a YouTuber called OnlyUseMeBlade. Really chill guy. I knew him years ago. We got along. But since then, he's gone from making YouTube videos to live streaming. And one of the things he's found success in is drinking to excess. So people will donate for him to take more shots, and he'll just get drunker and drunker. And they love to watch him be overly drunk. He has an alcohol problem, right? It is not it's not a close call. He is clearly an alcoholic.
Wait, hold on. The guy who drinks for a living,
yes,
has an alcohol problem?
I swear it's true. So he's like a legit alcoholic now who can't stop, and it's also his source of income, which makes it double hard to stop. Like, not only does he have this, what I'll assume is addiction, but he goes broke if he doesn't do it. Tricky.
Yeah, most people who have addiction to alcohol, it costs them money.
Right. Yeah. So he's in a tricky spot. And
it just costs him health.
We've been watching his leg sores get worse.
Propagate.
Would you call it a year now, Kyle? Am I exaggerating?
It feels like a year. So he's got these leg sores. All right, these open wounds on.
What are they from?
We assume some sort of alcohol related.
He's heavy too.
Situation. He didn't fall and scrape his knee. Like he's just like the skid is just.
I was wondering if this was like Philadelphia sores.
Yes.
Oh well.
Oh, but not literally AIDS. But I mean, they look comparable, right? Maybe I misunderstood when I said yes.
But I don't know if those were open wounds.
I was like, oh, okay, he's got AIDS.
No. I just meant they were comparable visually.
Yeah.
I think the Tom.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll get it. It's. Why does he have open wounds on his legs? This is a question that, look, I'm very curious. He doesn't seem that curious at all about why he has open wounds on his legs.
He seems complacent.
I feel like I'm a broken record because I keep going to the same place. How do open wounds getting worse, not just day after day, but like month after month, continuing to progress, not sound alarm bells for him? But he has other priorities, drinking and such, that are bigger than these open wounds that are just getting worse.
Look, Woody, priorities.
Yeah.
It's drinking, subscriber count, YouTube's new algorithm, weather.
What am I going to eat that night?
Yeah,
where
food
am I
that
gonna
night.
sleep?
Somewhere near the bottom, leg holes.
New season of Good Place.
Yeah.
Good place.
And then
Open
gets
wounds.
my numb, tingly feet. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It really is.
Yeah.
I like.
Have you
I
found the
liked it
video?
first couple seasons?
Kyle?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Because it is. Yeah. I
So
really
is
hope
people
he
pouring
starts working on it.
alcohol into the?
Yeah, he's passed out. Probably not from alcohol though, right? He was just tuckered.
Right.
Probably sleeping.
And some guy who's also a live streamer of some kind just starts pouring Jägermeister into this big open wound on his leg and giggling about it.
Does it boil up like hydrogen peroxide?
No,
Why don't they pour some hydrogen peroxide in it while he's sleeping?
that's what I'd do.
Right?
Yeah, like he falls asleep. Instead of pranking your friend by like drawing dicks, you just bandage his wound.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey guys,
but
I'm
then you
Ben
can draw a dick on the
Margera.
bandage.
I'm Ben Margera, and today we're going to prevent sepsis in my friend's leg. I'm going to slap
just-
my dad in the belly while he's trying to shit. Yeah.
Just pranking someone by helping them heal. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Imagine if they
They were
did some
gonna break my
hydrogen
friend.
peroxide, some Neosporin, and bandage it. Would it help?
I don't
At this
fucking
point, you
know
need to go
what's
to a
causing
doctor.
it, and neither does he.
I'm
You need to go to
problem.
a doctor. Yeah.
I'm so
He
out of my
needs to go
depth.
to a doctor.
Like if
We
it
live
was
in such a weird voyeuristic culture where like I wanted to, as my YouTube is growing, I wanted to like collaborate with other YouTubers. Figure like that's a great way to grow your channel. And so like I reached out to a bunch of them, and like this one guy got back to me. He's like, yeah, I'd totally be down. I was like, okay, great. Let me look at his channel, get some ideas for what we could do together. And all he does is dress up like Spider-Man and get his ass kicked.
Oh, cool guy.
That's his channel.
So what's your
I was
What's
role?
it called?
Yeah. My role apparently is to dress up like Thor. I don't know. Like
I mean, you could kick his ass in regular clothes. Maybe you could dress up like Thor.
I could be
Good luck with
Thanos.
What's this
I could
guy's
be-
YouTube channel called?
I don't know. This was a couple years ago. And I mean, he was a nice guy. I feel a little bit bad for making fun of it, but like that's what's out there now, where like there are people who are paying to watch a guy drink himself to death.
Yeah, it's pretty good
Basically.
content.
But I almost answered that seriously. But there's also like there is more good content out there than ever before.
Yes.
There's so many good television shows. We don't have time to watch everything. And yet there are some people who are, you don't think so?
I'm on the other side. Like I watch YouTube. Most of my entertainment time is spent on YouTube, and when I watch what I'll call fake TV, very few shows grab my attention. Mostly I'm just like, oh, this is all scripted, and there's actors, and that's not my kind of entertainment anymore.
Wait, does your television have the mode where it looks like it's not television anymore?
That's not it. Like,
do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but no, I'm just saying
That fucking sucks. I turned it back.
Television is obviously it's fake. It's scripted. I'm talking about every show, Friends, Seinfeld, whatever.
Fun.
Okay, but my cup of tea has changed into like vloggers. Even boring ones are at least real.
So you want to watch? Okay, is that because of porn preferences, or like how did that?
Shucks, did that tie into it? Heck, I don't know.
Yeah,
but no, like
It might.
legit. And it's not like they're my friends or anything, but I'll be like, oh, this guy, I like this guy. Let's see what he's doing today. And
See what old pepperoni nipples is doing.
I watched. We had guests on Sailing La Vagabond.
I saw some other uplifting news a while back on our Reddit that said that, or it showed a post that Blade was cleared by his doctor to keep drinking. And
I got
so-
a picture of his toes
that's great.
yesterday. They are green.
That doesn't sound right.
I read it with the same bit of hesitation. I don't think the doctor's like, yeah, go for
Hi,
it.
Dr. Nick here. Would you like a cocktail?
Hi, everybody.
What did
I don't believe that.
Can you give me the details on it? Like, is the act? In
It
what
was like a
world is that
screenshot
thing?
of him discussing something with his chat, and someone was saying something about a drinking stream or whatnot, asking a question, and it was him responding saying like, just got the okay, my doctor cleared me to drink. And meanwhile, there's like so many photos of his foot looking worse than ever, and Kyle was right all along in that. I think Woody and I had a little too much faith in the change of lifestyle approach to it, and chicken and green beans are not going to get him out of this hole.
Yes, it will. I'm still.
No, it will not. The ship is over the
Taylor,
horizon.
that is an untested theory.
I just imagine Woody on D-Day, like running up to that Saving Private Ryan soldier who's like holding his own arm. He's like, "Have you tried spinach? Turn this all around." That's where Blade is right now. He's standing on the beach holding his foot. He's hopping around. Nutrition is not going to help this. He needs antibiotics.
Woody comes over,
Okay.
feeding him asparagus on the beach. Quiet. Give this 8 to 10 months.
Yeah, okay, you might be right about the antibiotics and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that's wrong, but I still feel like, and again, I know nothing about this, but I'm, on YouTube, if he would have just turned the lifestyle around, maybe throw some antibiotics in there, these wounds he has are not deep. Based on everything I learned in the TV show Scrubs, that if he just stops drinking, lives a healthier lifestyle, these are scabs. These are like the almost healed injuries, right?
Let's find Kyle. Are you finding the most?
I'm
up-to-date
googling.
photos?
I'm googling leprosy actually to show Woody that it's not always the worst things aren't always like deep wounds.
I'm gonna Google that too.
Oh, you might not want to. I'm regretting it already. This guy's smiling while holding. Oh, what is he holding?
Well, it doesn't look like I expected. These are all faces of leprosy. I want to see.
And fingers they've lost.
Right, and some of these fingers, though, they're old wounds. I need some current leprosy. I'm seeing some raging leprosy. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. I want someone who just got a little bit of the leper in them.
Earlobe?
Man, if you get leprosy, you're such a fucking loser.
Why?
Yeah, fucking idiot. Most people don't
No
get.
Chad ever got leprosy. How do you get leprosy in the modern day and age?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Wow.
Let's find.
I mean,
So
handling
it's
an armadillo
funny.
will do it.
Leprosy doesn't look as bad as I expect. Look, this science photo library picture that I'm looking at is making me feel like I'm wrong. But that looks skin deep. That looks like you could cure it with a little asparagus. So
That looks a lot like what Blade has. Honestly, all
Yeah.
right, look at the middle finger on the hand that's to our right. This individual's left. Blade's toe looks worse than that. I don't know if you've seen like the most recent picture of his toe. It's
they
green.
linked it in my Twitch stream the other day. We talked about it a touch.
Just in case Taylor hasn't seen it, I'll throw it in here.
I'm looking for it. I found one.
I got it right here. If you click that.
Oh, this actually isn't what I saw. Are we going to watch this video?
There's a video?
The first one had a video. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Now tell me that doesn't look worse than what the leper has.
It's pretty rough. You don't like it.
Are we
How
sure
about
that's
this?
Blade?
Yeah. Taylor,
Yeah.
how much money would it take for you to suck that toe? And I mean to draw upon it succulently.
Draw upon it succulently.
For a good 30 seconds.
Oh.
And you swallow when you're done. Spitters are quitters, Taylor.
I don't want to do it.
I don't like the accusation that he might not swallow.
Blade needs you to get the poison out.
Dude, it's going to be something absurd like $50,000.
I'm glad that you said a realistic number because there's so many jabronis out there. They'd be like, oh, like 8 billion. Like, no, you'd do it for 50 grand if you saw it stacked up. And I would too.
In
Because
ones.
there's something
so
about
I feel,
seeing it. Yeah. When you see cash money, like if you see money go into your bank account, let's just say a rudiment. If you see $5,000 go in your bank account, you're like, oh, good. Put it with the rest. That's good. And that's a little bit of comfort there. Good. That's a lot of money. Good. But if you see $5,050 sitting in front of you, it looks like it's such a completely different experience. Yeah. When you see cash money, it's
I've
so
always
much
gone the
different
other
than-
way. Actually,
Really?
yeah,
Well,
like
physical cash, seeing that.
If you know what $10,000 looks like, it doesn't look like much. It's like a
In
couple
hundreds, it's not much at all. It's very thin.
Yeah, like $10,000 is
maybe
that
an
100
inch.
hundreds?
Well, it's only 100 hundreds, yeah.
Yeah. And I think those wraps tend to be 50, right? The two of those little wraps, and
Yeah, it's not much at all. Like even 20,000 is just it's a little
right.
pinch.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot of money, but I don't look at say 10,000 is a better one and see like half an inch of money.
Yeah, it looks better in
3/4
20s. Like that's the other thing. Like if it's in 20s, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. It'd be 2 stacks like this in 20s.
Now that you say it, that I was at the bank and a guy deposited like 5 inches of money, and I was just like, I asked, I was nosy. I was like, how? And it was like 400 something. Like it was, yeah, it wasn't as much as I thought.
Oh, that's Billy. He works at Chippendale.
I'm not sure. He looked like a landscaper. Like,
Okay.
That's what he looked
You'd
like.
be surprised how many people don't lock their doors.
He looked like he worked pushing a mower or something. And yeah, anyway, now I'm going the other way because I saw that stack of what must have been singles and thought it was a lot.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of money in smaller denominations for sure. Yeah, but yeah, I would suck his toe for 50 grand. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A big part of the price for me is who knows, right? If nobody knows, if even Blade keeps this secret, then my price goes down a lot, right?
They'll take it to the grave.
Right?
Hey, Blade.
On the other hand,
can you keep a secret?
if we do this on a live stream, my price goes way up because it'll never stop haunting me.
That never happened.
Nope.
Right? She sucked on his thumb. I'm no Wonder Man at at reading signs. But if a woman sucks on your thumb, she's kind of hitting it back, right?
It's been hit back, and now she's waiting for you to push it. Yeah.
I mean, she was a big girl. Maybe he had some barbecue sauce on there.
They were a pair. They were a match.
Giving her the old salty thumb. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I do think Blade was, like I said, he was the initiator. She was just hitting it back a little bit, and certainly not any kind of she wasn't resisting in the slightest. She was just accepting his advances.
Yeah.
But he did know she was married. She was saying stuff like, my husband will be so mad, or maybe not. I am really drunk. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure I'll brush this off. But
that was her little phrase to gain plausible deniability, where she wants to do this, but she's saying, "Oh, my husband, he'll be so mad." And so now, if he continues to press, he's the bad guy more than her. When really, it should be in her head. Would my husband be mad with this? Okay, well, then I'm going to stand up and walk away, because that's totally within the confines of reality. Like you could have just done that. So it's like a little subtle passive way. Yeah, it's like a passive way to throw your own agency out the window. You're like, oh, I don't want that. Oh, he would be upset.
It's
we're gonna do it anyway. Okay.
That's no joke. That exists forever. If that was in my world, I'd never trust her again. Always, forever. 15 years later, I would be like, she gets out of my sight. She starts sucking on thumbs.
I think you're totally right.
Yeah, I agree. You're totally right.
Able to trust him again.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they just said, like the baby back bitch she is. I just imagine, look, my thumb probably doesn't taste good right now. Like I bet if I licked it, I would be like, ugh. You just lick your thumb. How's it taste? Salty, right? Yeah, you haven't washed your hands lately.
Mine does not taste salty.
I'm not licking mine. I don't want to get sick. I went to the grocery store. I got delivery food.
This is how I build up my collar resistance.
No, I'm not.
Be like Ben and just lick as many germs as you can, and get very sick.
No.
And,
I used to get sick 3 or 4 times a year, and the last couple years, I've taken a much different approach to washing my hands constantly and using lots of hand sanitizer and never touching my own face. I don't touch my face, and I try to keep my hands out of my mouth. Although I did like bite my nail about 10 minutes ago, so that's probably not good. But yeah, I that's cut down on a lot of the illness. I think washing my hands and not putting them on my face a lot. I don't want to get sick. But what I'm getting at is like, I wouldn't be confident that my thumb tastes good enough to stick it in a girl's mouth. You know what I mean?
That was New Year's Eve, right? Let's not pretend that was prime Blade thumb.
That was not prime Blade thumb. Like you use smart mouth and you can be confident in your breath.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't just washed your hands,
there's no smart thumb.
There's no smart thumb. Okay. You know what? I watched a Gone Wild GIF today on Reddit, and the girl's in an airplane bathroom, and she sticks her finger in her asshole. And all I could think was, she's not going to wash that hand.
You don't think she's right there in the bathroom?
I don't think so. She stuck her whole finger in her asshole, and I guarantee she was like, all right, that's gonna be a lot of karma, and then just went about her day.
There is a genre of porn where people stick their fingers in butts and then talk about how good they taste. And for me, it's like, you know what? Like,
whoa, what?
I think of myself as pretty hardcore, but you're taking me out of the moment. This is too much for me.
See, there's different stuff, because in the porno he's not making that up. So, but see, in porn, here's the difference to me. Here's where I see a big separation. That's plain butthole. That's airplane bathroom butthole. Okay, she hasn't had time to prepare that butthole.
That's the New Year's Eve thumb of buttholes.
That is the New Year's Eve thumb of buttholes. Like that is not a prepped butthole. She didn't just get out of the shower after using an enema. She wasn't on an all broth diet for the last 36 hours to ensure premium butthole cleanliness. No, like that was airplane butthole. She just got up early. Maybe had a hot dog and some fries at one of those shitty overpriced airplane restaurants, and now she's boarding a plane with airplane butthole, and she's like, oh, let me go in the bathroom real quick, get some karma.
Passed out.
He has a blanket over his head, so the guy pees kind of on the blanket. But I'm not sure Blade is fully aware of what's happening, because he's like, dude, what the fuck? And Blade does a real good job of making you feel like you're the dick socially, which I guess in this case wouldn't be a real hard trick. He's getting peed on. And then after the guy stops peeing or runs out of pee, really, he covers the blanket up and continues to use it. And I don't know if Blade is fully aware of what's happening.
Then they stole his teeth.
Wait, he lost his teeth?
He had them stolen from him. He had his fake teeth stolen. He lost his teeth many moon ago.
Okay, yeah.
So he's passed out, and first of all, they've already painted his face blue, like bright blue, and but they wedge his mouth open, and one guy reaches in and takes his teeth out, steals them, and then holds them up triumphantly, got him.
Zelda music plays or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know about this. So his legs have gotten worse.
I think the legs are fine, as far as I know. But
it's not that; it's that that other issues have taken center stage. The legs are still waiting in the wing for next season or whatever happens.
Last I heard last I saw, his toe was about to fall off.
That's where he was at the last time we talked to him.
He poured some Jaeger on that, and it straightened it right out.
Wow. Okay.
The caramelized sugar and alcohol.
I joke believe. There's a video of them pouring Jaeger on his rotten wounds.
I know you should.
That can't be good for it. Maybe try hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, that could work too. Cheaper.
Probably is cheaper too.
That ship has sailed.
No, I think his leg and his toe have actually improved, but his teeth are on the decline. And when he was on this show, he had been sober for 10 days. He said. And he was, pretty with it. He was the Blade, Blade from back in the day. He was great. But he was also saying stuff like, I'm just taking a little brief time off from drinking. I'll be back at it. And that wasn't encouraging, and getting back at it bad.
What I don't understand is, and I see this all the time on Twitch. I mean, I get that he likes to drink,
right?
And I get that that's his thing that he does for money at this point. But couldn't you just fake it? People do that all the time on Twitch, especially, female streamers and stuff. I'm not going to name names, but I know people who do drinking streams that it's not real. It's not real alcohol. Couldn't he just
Well, it seems like, I mean, he told us, he's like, well, it's more of a streaming thing than a drinking thing. But I think the reality is it's more of a drinking thing.
Yeah, that must be it.
And he uses the streams as a way to almost, enable and facilitate it to be like, well, if I don't get blackout drunk again, how am I going to stream? How am I going to make money? I have to, if I wasn't streaming, I wouldn't be doing this, but I am. So here we go. That would be my guess.
Like I think I'm an amateur drinker. I know I'm an amateur drinker. But Taylor, like, how many times in your life have you gotten as drunk as it seems that Blade gets, like almost on a nightly basis? Like how many times have you gotten just fall into a pile, go piss in a closet drunk?
Jesus Christ. I've never pissed in a closet.
I know. I'm just using that as like a reference.
Not in a very long time. Like when I was younger, and even now, I made it to bed and fell asleep at PK 140 just fine. Nothing happened. I can't really remember the last time I got so drunk I was falling down. I can't recall the time I've been so drunk I would not know and react with fury if someone began pissing on me.
Yes,
that would snap anyone right back to sobriety. Like, you're pissing on me right now. Like the animal brain gets going and it ticks or something. Like,
well, I feel almost obligated to fight at this point. You can't pee on me. Like it.
Yeah, you can't pee on me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess let's give this a go. Here we are.
Yeah, I think Blade could take. I don't know. Blade's bigger, but he just doesn't look. He has any muscle.
Right?
Yeah,
but
he doesn't need any protein. Doesn't look like.
I haven't won every fight.
Calories.
Like sometimes you lose, but you can't just get peed on.
No, you can't. Then they keep doing it. Then you get shit on.
Then they keep doing it.
They keep doing it.
Next they shit on you.
Next, they're gonna amp it up until you wake up, man. But yeah, he was a level of drunk in that where it's like if someone is around, like, and they're that drunk, you start worrying. With Blade it'd be different because it's like, okay, he gets this drunk every night for the most part. This is what he does. But like Kyle, let's say you're throwing a little party, a little shindig, and there's someone there. It's 11:15. You're ready for everything to go. Someone's that wasted. You're annoyed, but part of you is also thinking, I hope he's okay, and like, I hope he doesn't die on my couch. He doesn't vomit and choke on my nice couch.
Or add even more, like, I don't know, potential culpability to it and make it a girl, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a girl at your house who is so fall down drunk that she hasn't noticed that I've peed on her. I'm worried for her now,
Now I'm concerned. Yeah, there was this happened a few years. Oh, at this point, probably almost 5 years ago, and I was hanging out with a few buddies of mine, and this is when I lived near the city, and the stairs to get up to my place and my loft were incredibly steep, not safe to be carrying a person, we'll say. And they came back to my place end of the night, and everybody was wasted, and so I was like, all right, everybody just pick a couch and fall asleep. My buddy, he's like, dude, I don't want to put my sister to bed yet. She will vomit. Like, I know we're all tired, but we kind of have to be vigilant a little bit. That turned into me sitting and like kind of paying attention to her while they were more falling asleep. And she started like, while laying on the side of my couch, started doing like in her sleep, like, I was like, boys, awake. But before like I could fix anything, she vomited all over my fucking couch.
Fuck that.
It was like 3 a.m, and these two buddies of mine who were also stumbling around drunk were like, it's okay, we'll carry her down the stairs, get her home in an Uber. And like they got her, like, not a light girl, to the top of the stairs, and they were about to walk down a 45-degree angle of stairs, and I had to tell them, like, guys, you're gonna drop her and she's gonna die. And there's going to be a dead person at the bottom of this stairwell.
My stairwell.
My stairwell. The next morning, one of them was like, Taylor, did we try and walk Stephanie out of here? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, woo! Like, they would have absolutely slipped and she could have died. But yeah, it is all that to say, it's fucking annoying when someone vomits on your couch.
Did she vomit? What kind of material is this couch? Is this leather or microfiber?
It was microfiber.
Oh, fuck. What did you do?
I had to go on YouTube and come up with and watch different videos of like club soda mixed with other stuff until I eventually scrubbed enough to get it out.
It didn't work, did it? There was still a smell.
It was never back to 100%, and that couch has been thrown away. Yeah, and it sucks because it was a nice one. It was one of those couches where like You know, and it was like a love seat, you know, where in the middle they have the 2 cup holders and the little thing where you can put stuff. She was more like just curled up on one side of it and vomited onto that side of the armrest.
I would have walked
down in
behind
between the cushion and the armrest.
I'd have immediately jumped up, ran behind the couch, grabbed it, and
flipped,
jumped her out of it. Just jumped her out of it on the fucking floor. Like if there's no way if you are prone to vomiting in your sleep, then you can't sleep on my couch.
I didn't know at the time.
They told you. They told you she's going to vomit.
Late. It was too late. Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, I probably should have just put her on the floor, honestly.
What you actually do if someone is going to sleep and there's someone who's prone to vomiting in your sleep, you definitely put them on their side, and then you take a garbage bag and you put it over their head and you secure it like a rubber band around the neck.
Well, it comes with the drawstring.
Yeah.
You can use the drawstring, but sometimes that slips off. Sometimes they're able to claw at it.
It should be watertight or airtight.
Definitely watertight. Definitely watertight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Now you've got an even bigger mess to clean in the morning.
Oh God, it's got to be him you're thinking of, right?
I thought he was. Yeah,
you weren't even thinking of Blade. All right. Yeah, I didn't see the Blade video. How's he doing now? I assume he's turned it around. He was sober when he was on the show.
Yeah, no.
We talked about the video last week, remember? Like the one where he's dropping the N-bombs and telling his chick to go get him some Kit Kats because they're scrumdiddlyumptious. He looks like he's had a stroke.
We talked. I couldn't watch it though. Was I producing the show or something? There was like this "don't play it."
You were going to play it for your microphone, and he's dropping an N-bomb. Like he's calling his girlfriend the N-word. And I'm not talking about Renegger. Like he's calling her the real
one, the bad one.
And she's just like, don't call me that. He's like, you do it, you N-word. And you go get me some Kit Kats because they're scrumdiddlyumptious.
Well,
and don't you take my fucking Cadillac.
It's similar.
Blowy and fingered his girl this week.
Well, I didn't see any video of an alleged fingering or a blowy, but I did see them both using the N-word a lot again. Seemingly it's a pastime of theirs. And then and then she was like being like, you want me to blow you? They're both just absolutely, he is just beyond gone. And she goes down below the camera where I could see on the little clip, and she's like trying to suck his dick, and he's sitting there like not with it at all. And she's like, you gotta spread your legs. You gotta spread your legs so I can suck your dick. And then she's
no, you don't.
I guess it wasn't going to get hard for her. Surprise.
You're sitting on your dick again.
And so, yeah, that's.
I started to second guess myself. It's like, no, I know how to receive a blowjob.
Yeah, that's the thing about where your penis is. Your legs can be together; they can be apart. It's incredibly versatile.
We talk about how rough Blade's life is. Not as rough as. It's the lady who's sucking Blade's dick on a live. like there's levels, you ever hear that? There's levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit. And that's
when I heard the first video described where he was calling her a N-word. I thought, I wonder if she's falling out of love. And then as I hear the second video described, aren't they just the greatest couple?
That's a pet name.
They share. Yeah, that's what that really is. Come here, little N.
Kit Kats, you Aunt Jemima looking whore.
Everyone around him's like, yeah, we're at Walmart. Stop.
I'd be okay at Walmart.
Dude, he it's like sad to watch. Like he's dying. And it's like only accelerating.
Yeah, but he's dying very slowly.
I would say it's got to be quick by now. I would imagine he's a year older than you.
Yeah,
1 year.
Yeah,
and if you were in his health situation, you wouldn't be like, I'm deteriorating slowly.
Oh, there'd be alarm bells fucking ringing. Yeah, but still, like he's got another good 25 years. We're so tough. The human body's so resilient. Like. You see these people all the time who have spent decades abusing drugs and alcohol and living the worst kinds of lifestyles, and
get rid of that.
And then they'll. Oh no! Don't do that. Oh no! And they tough it out. The human body's so goddamn resilient. Like you can just take it. It's good. It has so many systems that are meant to process poison. That's what your liver and kidneys.
So what you're saying is, if he were to stop, switch to chicken and broccoli, he'd be fine.
If he were to stop and get on a healthy diet and drop the alcohol and walk, 10,000 steps a day for a year, he would look like a completely different human being.
Now that's true, but like if he doesn't stop the abuse, like I feel like a lot of these progressive diseases, like it'll be kind of slow down for a while, and then there's a precipice of like, yeah, your liver's dead.
Well, I don't think he has a disease. Like he doesn't yet have any disease particular other than alcoholism, if you count that.
Yeah.
But
that's where when he was rotting with that toe thing, and the doctor was like, "You're gonna lose. I can just take it now." The doctor said, "Gangrene." Okay, I was like, "You're on the edge of a permanent thing. If they take your toe off, they won't ever put it back on. Like that's it. If you lose your foot, it's gone for good." So much of what he has
only use like blade legs.
We've made that joke before.
No, well, that's why it seemed familiar. Not damn.
So much of what he has is just to stop doing it away from disappearing. Like obesity or something. Like, yeah, just fix your diet, and that actually disappears, and it's like you weren't used to be fat anymore. Mm-hmm. But he's on the edge of something permanent, I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like maybe Kyle's right. You never know if it's like what extent the damage is, but like just like when you see someone like where their arms, like there's no musculature there, and yet the tub in the front is like so distended. It's like literally this is a deep cut, but in O&A, it's exactly what Lady Di looked like before she lost her mind and forgot who she was with wet brain.
Yeah, it affects different people differently as well. Some people just have a genetic predisposition to the point where like they can just take it. Like Ozzy Osbourne, they've tested his genome or whatever, and they found that like, holy shit, this guy's actually genetically resistant to like the damage caused by like narcotics and alcohol abuse. I mean, he's still fucked up, but he should be dead. Is the whole thing. And some people are on the opposite of the spectrum. Like my grandfather died at 35 years old of cirrhosis of the liver.
How much was he drinking? Do you know?
He was a bootlegger, so he made his own alcohol, and I'm pretty sure that they used to filter that, not filter it, but distill it using old radiators, which had lead in them, and so like that probably contributed to it to some extent.
That is young as can be for cirrhosis. So that must have been some nonsense.
That's my age. My grandfather died at my age of cirrhosis of the liver, which meant he must have had it for some time, right? It's not like, oh, I've got it and I'm dead. It's
and it's not like one day he was like, oh, and he keeled over. It was like, it must have been like at least a couple years leading up of every time he drank or did maybe not drugs. He just was in like agony and just forged ahead.
I guess, I don't know a ton about like how he died and like the like final days of him. He's a piece of shit, so nobody gives a fuck.
Was he a true asshole?
Yeah, abusive, alcoholic, philanderer. Yeah, so just
did he is I'm assuming it's your dad's dad, but
dad's dad. Although mom's dad was just as bad.
Did it turn your dad off of that behavior where he was just like, no, I will never be like that?
No, he'll drink like socially. But I think it made him a much better parent. My dad's always been like very loving, like we don't like part ways without telling each other we love each other. You don't hang up the phone without telling each other you love each other. Like we've always been like we've always hugged and like been super close. And like if we have some big fight or something, like we'll sort it out in a day, or like real quickly, no matter what. So yeah, I think it made him a better parent to like have had it. I think sometimes it goes the opposite way. People who are abused sometimes end up being abusers.
For sure.
But in my dad's situation, he had this just piece of shit, abusive, alcoholic father, and he was just like, "That ain't gonna be me. That's not gonna be me. I'm gonna be the best dad I can be." And he really was. I love my dad a ton. He was just a great father. He always has been.
See, he took the one generation. He broke the cycle there. Like you probably don't know what was your grandpa's dad. Like probably abusive. Your great grandpa, not even
don't know anything about them. Yeah,
isn't that weird? That like for most people, once you're past grandparent, it's like you never existed. It's like you're not in the photo. If you are in the photo, like when I go to my grandparents' house, like there'll be pictures of my grandparents with like those fucking like daguerreotypes for like they used like silver eye, like it's like them just standing by wagons in like rural like 1899 or something, and it's like. I always just like, it's like every one of those people had a life, and like they don't even know all the down stems of everything they're doing and how it's going to create families and go, and like it just echoes throughout history, and you don't think about it, you know. And like, what did they do that impacted their kid, which impacted my grandpa, which impacted my, you know, it. I don't know. Maybe people don't think about that.
No, I think about that for sure. I wish I knew more about, like, obviously I've done like the ancestry.com thing that shows like my genetic stuff and where my people came from in the globe. But I don't know anything about their personalities or their lifestyles or their you know, was this guy a cowboy, or like, you know, was he a blacksmith, or was he like the town drunk? You know, like was he an outlaw, or was he like a hardworking guy, or was he the town mayor? You know, like you don't know. And I wish I did.
It'll be way different, like in 60 years, when it'll be like, I wonder what my grandpa was like. Let me pull up his podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
oh, he was awful.
he was terrible. These are real. In 2070, these are very offensive jokes.
Grandpa Taylor was a racist.
I don't think you're in a Blade situation here.
Oh, is it possible to find that update picture of his foot? Did you guys see it?
I didn't know there was one. No.
Yeah,
Hal, do you know something?
Here in our Discord, they're always like throwing a link to him in there anytime there's an update. I think I saw a thumbnail, but I thought it was doctored.
I thought I saw a toe with a big hole in it, but I have previously been fooled thinking that that they're like, hey, look at this, and like, that was actually from last year. So I don't have proof. Like, I didn't see it myself.
I just don't keep up with him well enough to know like his current toe situation.
It looked rough, and it looked like, I am Mr. All you got to do is have some chicken and broccoli, and this thing will turn around.
Yeah.
If he were to do that right now, there would always be this hole. Like, I could put my thumb in it, if I recall. Like, it's you could put a pencil. It's got the eraser, then the metal part.
Yeah.
Like, all that would fit in this hole.
Nice. Oh, so his toe has turned into a pill hider for dogs.
Yes. Yes, that would work great.
Well, hey, if it falls off, let us know.
Yeah, I got it.
Woody's got a stubborn dog.
Blade, hook a brother up.
Now, here's what I'll say. I'll go ahead and lay this.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? That image.
Why does it say only use me blade foot? Like, what is this? Oh, take that off. Take it 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 off.
Why?
Because he didn't read all the fucking print. All right.
Okay.
I didn't. All right. Anyway, I wish him the best, and if it does fall off by some terrible thing that happens, we at PK would like to purchase the toe. We would like to keep it in a jar, and then it'll be like the Stanley Cup, and it'll move from one of us to the other and stay at our desks. What do you guys think that we'd be willing to pay for the severed toe of Only Use Me? Wing's toe would be more. This is Only Use Me Blade's toe.
A Wing's toe.
No. Only Use Me Blade. Wing's toe isn't coming off anytime soon. Only Use Me Blade's toe.
We're buying it from him?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know about him, but I would be very averse to selling my own toe. There'd be something about that would be very invasive.
Wing's toe, as far as we know, is not about to hit the market. Is this a scenario where the toe falls off?
I want Only Use Me Blade's toe when it falls off, when it has to be amputated for medical reasons, and I'm willing to pay $500 for that toe.
500? Okay.
Is that low?
It seems. Well, if it's already fallen off, it's useless. It's not even lucky anymore.
Well, counter. I mean, the bidding is open. You want to get in here and try to outbid me for this toe?
I just feel like there's someone in the community who thinks 500 is lowballing it.
We're starting at 500, boys. You know, anybody else wants to outbid me? $500 for that rotten toe.
A 510.
525.
Well, fuck.
That's what I thought. I should have been like, sold. All right, so hit up Woody for $510. No, I wish him the best, but he doesn't seem to be real focused on getting that looked at or anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's interested in it, but it could be that, a lot of times people won't go to the doctor when they know something's up. Because, like, it's a confirmation of what you know, like something, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, if I don't go to the doctor, I won't know anything's wrong, so nothing will be wrong.
Would you be? Yeah, I could definitely kind of relate to that. Like it could be. It's scary to go to the doctor, and it's easier to not go. But oh my god, go!
Yeah,
like when that doctor called and like says, oh yeah, it's cancer, and I was like, all right, how soon can we get moving on this? And he's like, oh, soon. Great. I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah, like you know, imagine if I'd been some like procrastinating piece of shit that was afraid of the doctor, you know?
Yeah, then you might have lost more of your
this most recent one is a picture of the toe. Kyle, what's your judgment, Taylor? You think we can show that gore?
No.
I'm grabbing it. Ew, you know?
No,
Woody and
let's not show that.
Woody and I might disagree on how long a man's nails should be, but
no one's on.
But OnlyUseMeBlade's on another planet with that thought. So here's what I see. And look, I'm looking at a weird blurry picture on the internet, but I noticed that a lot of it is white. And to me, that whiteness, I've only seen that on my own feet when like I was in like military boots, wet, walking all day. Like when my feet got like not trench foot, but like the first day of trench foot, you know what I mean? Like soggy foot. Something about your feet, like all the callousy material on his toe pad has absorbed liquid, and that's why it's white. And that's what I'm looking at. And then, like you said, that looks necrotic. That looks like his flesh is dying, rotting, and probably smells. So the fact that he's gonna, I'm gonna say it's like 50%. He's gonna lose that toe. That's my medical opinion because I've never seen a hole rot into a digit like that. And it my guess is everything that's white is dead. And everything in that hole is dead or just dead.
Yeah.
There's no blood flow there. That's why it's white. Like,
I mean, look at it. It's a black hole in the toe. Like, of course, that's dead. That's
who knows how deep it is. Like, if you took like a dental tool and like started scratching into the center of it, like what's the consistency? Is it a soup? Is it like crusty, like scabby stuff, or is that like pink skin just under that brown spot? I don't know. It's real gross, though.
But you got to go to the doctor, man.
Well, isn't he limping down the aisle one day?
The thing is, going to the doctor doesn't solve it. Changing your lifestyle solves it. Now, I'm not saying
I think going to a doctor solves it. Like
I'm listening. What will the doctor do?
I don't think alcohol is causing that toe to do that. I think like there's an infection in there. It looks like he's got an infection. Oh. See, I don't quite understand. So diabetes causes that from blood loss, right? Like there's no blood flow to the extremities. Am I correct in that?
I think so too. Taylor's usually good at this.
I mean, I know that it has like the reason people with diabetes over time like will lose limbs and appendages is because of a circulation issue.
Yeah,
and I think it was like we've said before, like, or we've guessed. I mean, that his diabetes is probably because of the huge amounts of Jaeger.
Are we sure he's diabetic?
The sugariest drink. I mean, we know we don't know for sure, but like these kind of sores, like if you look up a diabetic sore online, that's what it looks like. It's like a slow rotting out of places because there's no blood flow.
Yeah, Dr. Woody says he's diabetic and he needs a lifestyle change to heal that.
I want to put that
going to a doctor and having it like cleaned out and prepared to heal won't help at all if he keeps down in the Jaeger.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's very true.
Yeah,
there are things the doctor will just fix, like Kyle's eye cancer or my nose cancer. We'll fix in a little bit. Doctors, you go in there and you leave without cancer. Cool. Then there are other things that you got to fix, and that's where Blade is.
Is he still doing his thing?
Is he still doing his thing? He is. He doesn't have the same distribution that he used to. Now he's on to like YouTube Defenders, and is he on True TV? I always see him like talking to Blade and asking about Onision.
That's the last time I've ever heard of him was like, the Blade thing, sitting down.
Well, you know.
He's on the disgraced YouTubers now. It's a new genre.
Man, Blade, who got a more humiliating beating, Blade or this pedophile?
Probably the pedophile.
That pedophile.
Yeah.
Because Blade isn't a pedophile, and it's pretty humiliating being a pedophile.
And
getting beat up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but they both had the same sort of, you know what, I changed my mind about all this kind of post-hit. Yeah, Blade got hit and he goes, you know what? It was my bad.
I was wrong.
It's like post-nut clarity. It's post-punch clarity. Where you're just like, oh shit, it just got real for me. Like,
I was in the wrong.
I was wrong.
Dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't kill me. Don't
Derek,
beat
you
me.
probably don't know this, but there's a guy named Blade. We all enjoy his company. Nice enough guy, but he's an alcoholic, clearly. And he was super drunk, and he decided to take it upon himself to do two things. One, he hit this guy's girlfriend on the butt hard. Kyle, do you want to go?
Here's the shocking thing about that, Woody. He slapped her ass after getting punched out.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, what?
Oh, the video was edited the other way.
I have done further research, and I have been informed by multiple parties. He did that thing where you slap somebody in the back of the head, but he did it to a very big guy.
This guy keeps a barbell in front of his living room TV.
Yeah, he's got his barbell in his living room, like really big arms,
traps and yeah, he's just built.
Big guy who's probably working out 4 or 5 times a week. This alcoholic, overweight fella decides to give him one of those big brother slaps in the back of the head on a live stream, and big man stands up and pops him in the mouth real fucking hard.
Yeah, drills him.
He slapped his girlfriend in the ass like minutes later.
Yeah,
I was
because he
shocked
didn't
when I learned
remember
that.
the previous altercation.
Well, there probably was a bit of concussion.
What's the best diet for someone who drinks 1,900 calories a day in Jägermeister? What do you recommend?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. The sugariest alcohol there is, I would imagine, other than probably Fireball or something.
Yeah.
I bet he hasn't had a solid shit in 5 years.
I would not take that bet. Yeah, I think you
Does
nailed
alcohol
it.
give you diarrhea? Is that...
Yeah.
Well, it's because he's not
excess.
eating food. He's just drinking. So like, there's no solid poops to have.
Oh yeah, because he's lost some weight. I remember I complimented him on dropping some body fat, and you told me that I didn't understand some of the dynamics of alcoholism. That they lose their hunger. What is the word?
Pull. You know how he is when he's confident. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Yeah, look at it right there.
What if Wings made it? You said it was badly photoshopped, right?
No, not
And
that.
it's in like
there
Comic
was no
Sans,
crayon.
not centered under the username. Like just
no
not even
crayon.
close.
Okay.
But it was just this terrible. And Wings was so quick to like with a little bit of nonsense evidence to throw OnlyUseMeBlade under the bus. We should never have him on our show again. We should never talk to people like that again. And it's like that juxtaposed with his current situation is one of those million things that makes it so hard to be on his side time and time again. Where when the shoe was literally on the other foot, he was so quick to judge from nonsense evidence and try to and throw somebody's reputation under the bus as being a racist. OnlyUseMeBlade is a lot of things, but he is not a racist.
I was trying not to mention
and
those.
it seems like most of his friends are black.
But Kyle, you sent me that video earlier today, the compilation of everything, the Wings compilation, and you're right. Wings will sometimes lash out with no evidence. Not that I've never done that. I've done that many times. But usually I'm trying to joke, make a meme or something, make a bit.
Yeah.
But basically, you sent me that video, and I my gut reaction to all the people calling Wings a pedophile shit is fucked up. That's so not true. It's really messed up to put that onto somebody and say that. And when there's no evidence that he did that or is planning to do something like that. But so I always have that instinct of come on, lay up on Wings, take it easy, stop fucking with him. He's had his share. And then I open this video Kyle sends me. The first 5 clips are fuck Merca. Merca can go fuck himself. All Merca Durka did was show up and then steal all the money from the show that I made. That's all Merca Durka did. And it's 5 clips back to back of he's shooting. It's what's that, Merca? Fuck Merca Durka. Merca Durka can kiss my ass. He stole my money. And I'm watching that Wings, I'm kind of one of the guys in your corner, but I didn't even steal your spot on the show, you fucking retard. I took a different guy's spot.
It was Lefty, right? Didn't you replace Lefty?
Yeah. Lefty. It was Lefty.
Right. I've been a host 7 years. 2014. I started being a host on this show, and he still thinks I took his place. Come on, man. That was 2 presidents ago.
Hold on. What if Wings is like that kid that is always bullied in school, and then he gets to be hall monitor for one day and just uses this tiny bit of power to just shit on everybody? Because Wings gets trolled constantly. He's been trolled for years. It's honestly not even funny. It's kind of sad. I feel like you just leave the guy alone. He's suffered enough. But then finally, a break, light at the end of the tunnel. Wings sees the ability to talk shit and troll somebody else and just jumps on it instantly and unloads every ounce of repressed emotions and trolling into whatever, evidence or not, just going to lash out at somebody. That's my theory.
Let me read you an OnlyUseMeBlade paraphrased quote. I wrote it down today that I thought was so cogent. When you're so fat you can't get on an airplane, and simultaneously such a small man you can't get into a Skype conversation to apologize. Wings of Redemption.
Ooh.
When you're so fat you can't get on an airplane, and simultaneously such a small man you can't get into a Skype conversation to apologize.
Was this following when
it has to be an old quote because it's about Skype.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like what, pre-2017 kind of.
Yeah, and be a small man for not hopping on AIM and hashing this out.
right.
No, it's
so small they can't get on Jabber.
For not hopping on your landline, dialing up the wheel and hashing it through.
I don't miss that at all.
We're not
but that was
your carrier pigeon right.
That was in reference though to like, you know, the previous instance they'd had where he threw Blade under the bus, and it was like, dude, you always hear that phrase, "You owe me an apology." Rarely do you mean it. I feel Blade is literally owed that. He is like it's like, hey, you owe me an apology. Like to this day, I guarantee Wings has never been like, hey, I was wrong in that moment.
Yeah, we've had Ice on the show before. I don't know what the fuck he's up to now. I do know that a new picture got posted of Blade's leg, and holy shit,
it's like a bullet wound.
It's
help Danny
cavernous.
So to catch our guest up, there's a guy from the Call of Duty community. His like screen name is like OnlyUseMeBlade. His whole shtick was he only used a knife in Call of Duty, and that's what set him apart from everybody else. He made these Call of Duty commentaries, and he'd stab people only. And it was cool, right? And he's a real chill guy. He's doing commentary, and he's talking about his life, and you get to know the guy, and you like him a lot. Very likable gentleman. And in later years, when Call of Duty kind of fell out of vogue, he's ended up doing a lot of live streaming, and that sort of lent itself to his other passion in life, which is drinking. And people would donate for every shot he took, and that's a terrible thing for someone who's prone to alcoholism. And so he's an overweight gentleman. He's a big guy. He's not like 5'10" and really overweight. He's like 6'3", 6'4" or something. He's a big fella, but he's quite overweight, and he's living that sedentary lifestyle. Again, I like Blade a lot. I've always had great times with him when we hung out together.
He's a funny guy.
But he's become what there's no other way to say it, but an alcoholic, and a dangerous one at that. Dangerous to himself, not to anyone else, I don't think. And he's developed this leg condition recently where it looks like something that maybe diabetics get. I'm not a doctor at all, of course, but he's getting these sores on his shins and calves that are oozing.
You were telling me he drank a sugary alcohol. Like, help me.
He drinks Jaeger. He's a big fan of Jaeger.
So
Jägermeister.
You think that's related to the diabetes? Like, would that be a...
Yeah, Jaeger has so much sugar in it.
It can't help. I don't know that he has diabetes. I'm just saying there are diabetic like symptoms with the. He has this necrotic flesh thing going on where it looks like his legs are dying and rotting away, and there are holes in his flesh that ooze pus or fluid of some kind, and it's hard to look at.
Yeah.
And I mean that's.
And it's what's the D word I'm looking for? Not debilitating, not degrading. It's getting worse. Degrading. Maybe that's it. It's getting worse. Like, I saw pictures of it, we'll call it a year ago. It didn't look good, but it also looked like bruises that maybe I've seen on healthy people too. Okay, cool. Then I see it a little later, and it's like, wow, actually, so this isn't like a normal thing that I see all the time. It's rotting in a way that I'm not accustomed to. And I saw it more recently, and it's like, whoa, how is this guy that seems to have it together in some ways just so not have it together in regards to health?
I'm trying to find the photo of the most recent one now. I'm coming up short.
I'd be curious to see that too.
Yeah, we got to find it. And it's like, it was like what he said, bruises for a while, but the entire time, the lower part of his leg has been discolored, which apparently is like a diabetic thing.
And oversized, right?
Like almost.
And his
like
urine is so sweet, I can barely take it.
You don't have my sugar consumption.
I sucked someone's cock named OnlyUseMeBlade, and I've never tasted better cum.
Just keep circling back to it. I'll keep being happy. Yeah, that's the danger, man, of being a YouTuber without any really defined talent. Those people who are just on YouTube to be on YouTube, like you guys are gamers, but you developed your radio chops, so now you have other things you're doing. I have some videos where I'm just out having sex with hookers drunk. Nice, by the way. But then I try to always be working on my writing and my improv as well.
Yeah.
Because I never want to be the guy who has to take shots for donations because everything else on my channel is broken down and there's nothing left to turn to. Where you're just a clown.
It's like having to eat.
That's his leg, by the way. I posted an image.
Yeah. Maybe Woody can show it. It's a full-on cavity at this point. Like there's depth to that wound.
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to see something really disgusting.
You need to see the other side of the leg too, because there's another fat one of those.
I think you should keep trucking.
I feel like you might be looking at that and seeing like
scrape.
Shucks. Hasn't every child had a scrape like that? You know, did you not have a leg similar to that when learning to ride a bike?
No. Oh,
we're talking about problems that can happen. Yeah, I saw some pics sent to me of Mr. Blade's teeth, and
is this the steroid using guy?
No, this is a guy who, his like foot is in the process of like it's probably gonna have to be amputated because of like alcohol induced diabetes that's just totally untreated for a long time. And so it's not just limited to the foot. Looks like
it definitely wouldn't be milliliters. By the way, I just did some like common sense thought process. I was like,
yeah,
we're milliliters.
No, I already said
okay. I don't know how big a milliliter is.
Like micrograms or moles or something.
For example, 355 milliliters.
Kyle, if you want to get jacked, you're gonna have to put a can of soda in your ass.
I've been crushing these diet A&W creams. So good. I got 11 more in there. I picked up a 12 pack today. I'm gonna crush a couple right after this show when I'm eating some turkey.
Yeah, I got a 12 pack today. Yeah.
We're not so different, you and I.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but these teeth, like, what is that on the top of it? Is that just plaque or is it?
Oh, I didn't realize his name was Blade. I saw this earlier, but I couldn't make sense of it. I'm like, Blade? Like you hit with a knife in the teeth? Like,
OnlyUseMeBlade is a play style he did in Call of Duty. Everyone else is shooting, and he somehow found success with just knives. And that's just been his name ever since, even though he's not playing COD a ton anymore.
It's his YouTube channel name. All of his social media and shit is sort of centered
and
around
life's been kind to him since then. It looks like.
Oh, super! He's been so successful. It's like he keeps finding new things to excel at. Like
drinking
and necrosis.
What loss?
I think he's probably got the
not wasting money on toothpaste.
Nearly. Yeah,
this is bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that was Woody's limit.
He's not going to kale his way out of this. He needs to go to the fucking hospital.
Even my dumbass realizes these teeth aren't coming back with a little George Foreman chicken and some kale.
You don't have to show that yourself, Woody, because for a while
this guy does enough push-ups. He'll just be a slightly stronger man with rotted teeth.
For a while. I don't have any background in necrosis. Like I don't know what's going on there. It looks to me like a pretty, not a mild sore, but like a kind of sore that, like, I went hiking with a dude.
His current goal is of $20,000, $2,500 to destroy his RV. I didn't even notice that until I clicked on this link again.
Yeah, that's what he should be focused on right now.
Yeah, presumably after destroy RV is save teeth.
I blew an RV up one time for like $87. It's not that expensive.
Anyway, sorry, Woody, I didn't mean to interrupt your story. So how did you know him?
I've done that. No, I was saying that the necrosis in his feet, to me, I've gone hiking with the dude, right? We went hiking in the Yosemite. When he took his boots off from all the blisters and stuff, it looked worse than Blade's feet. So when I viewed it through that lens, like just the picture of the worst, awful blisters ever from hiking. And I was like, dude, that guy healed in like 4 days, right? Yeah. If Blade, now obviously Blade would take a little while to turn around, but if he would just be a healthy guy, his injury didn't look that much worse to me than, 5-star blisters. And the teeth thing, though, That's not a normal condition. That's not like anything I've seen before.
Jeremy.
Can't get hiking.
Yeah.
Jeremy's
Is that
teeth
what
are worse
Jeremy's
than
look
this.
like?
They're
Really?
worse.
Aren't they?
Well,
fixed?
Jeremy has dentures now.
So he's looking good.
They fall out.
They fall out.
I'm
I'm
told.
trying to figure out what that like those ridges are in the close-up picture.
He's missing the enamel, right? Like that's just gone.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like he's missing some teeth on the left side toward the upper back area.
Would
Like
that be
there's
like
something
the
going on
Dentist,
there.
but I would say he needs help.
Which picture?
And the
are you-
lower back.
I want to know what
Oh,
what's going
you're
on
talking
when this
here.
picture is taken. Like it looks like he's in like pain gritting his teeth.
Could be experiencing non-ejaculation.
Yeah.
Blade.
I mean, wouldn't all of life be fucking painful if your teeth were like that? Like toothaches
Dude,
are renowned for
you
how
should
painful
start
they are.
posting. No, that's too mean. Never mind.
I feel like he's suicidal. Like
Too bad for Kyle.
I can't get my head anywhere.
Taylor?
Oh wait, I'm talking about Blade. Oh yeah, no, we got crossed up.
Oh my god! I just scrolled up to the teeth holes. I didn't see that.
No, don't do that.
I was on the bottom image. I didn't know about the top image.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh
Like,
my
I don't
god!
know-
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, oh no!
Oh, yes.
This is the one
Oh.
he's reacting to.
He needs the $20,000 to get those teeth repaired, not for an RV.
Yeah, I looked at this earlier and it said a close-up of Blade.
They don't
teeth
look like they're
holes.
in there very
And
well.
I didn't understand it was a streamer named Blade. I thought it was someone who had been hit in the head with a knife.
No, it's
Because you look at that, it looks like someone just like fucking chopped off the top of the enamel. of
You're
his
like, what is this? A whole channel of health problems caused by blades?
Yeah, I looked at it for a second. I'm like, I don't want to see this, and moved on.
he needs some
Went back to my breast
a
painting.
toothbrush, maybe some smart mouth.
Ooh.
Think smart mouth is gonna be enough.
Yes.
I think he
To
needs
start,
Taylor,
I think he needs
I've
a
asked this
dentist.
question before, but
Can't
I'm going to
hurt.
modify it just a little bit.
Yeah.
You're in the park. You're hanging out. To your left is Blade. To your right is a squirrel.
Yep.
Which one would you prefer to randomly bite you? There's going to be a little blood.
The squirrel has coronavirus.
The squirrel.
Yeah.
The squirrel does not have coronavirus.
I might still prefer the squirrel.
I'm going with the squirrel, and then I'm going to go to an urgent care, get a couple quick
Team
shots.
squirrel? Team
Yeah,
squirrel?
Team squirrel. Team squirrel.
I need to think
Because I
this.
feel like a squirrel mouth is dirty, but his like a human mouth.
Oh.
Human mouth is fucking disgusting.
I like my odds of my skin versus his teeth. I think that.
No. That's part of it. He's like, come on! Oh, God.
I shouldn't have gone for the cat.
No. Wait, all that happens is after he's bit you, there's bits of his teeth still left inside you.
Oh
Not
no!
injecting that shit.
They
It's
gotta
like-
take it out like a stinger.
Yeah,
That's actually worse.
It's like a bee's fucking stinger.
Oh, I gotta
exactly.
go squirrel if that's the case.
All teams.
That squirrel's
squirrels
chewing
all around.
acorns all day long. Those are hardy teeth. They're probably clean. You ever see a beaver's teeth?
Yeah, they're all orange because they have iron in it.
Yeah.
Really?
It's pretty cool.
Is they
Yeah.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's how they're so powerful and strong. Beavers, nature's engineers. I like watching.
This is a fucking documentary now. Keep
Fuck off.
going.
There's
Keep going.
like literally a documentary like called.
Tell them about
Beavers.
the tail.
Tell them you guys know exactly the
Tell them how
genre.
many chambers the dam has.
Their tails are brown.
Bobby, it has dozens of chambers. But we can blow it all up with propane. Yeah, but like exactly the genre of like nature documentary where it's not planet Earth, it's like the octopus, beavers, squirrel, and it's like one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in every one of those, there's at least 3 or 4 researchers whose entire life is devoted to this one animal, and there's always snide little remarks from them. And I noticed it the most in the beaver one on Netflix, where they'll be like, frankly, the beaver is the most fascinating animal in existence because it's the only one that builds its own environment. And the fish, there's idiot fish Terry. Devote your life to fish, retard. The study of what he's devoted his life to is entirely contingent on my animals and what they decide to do in the habitat. And when you think about it, isn't that more impressive than an elephant? And it's like, dude, stop having such an inferiority complex about studying beavers. I think they're cool too. I wouldn't have gotten drunk and started your fucking documentary if I didn't think so.
This is a guy who's heard one too many pussy jokes in his career. He just wants to study the animal he loves and be left alone.
Yes, I study beavers.
Never enough funding. No
But wait, don't you want to
fellowships.
see how many chambers are in it? It's funny you said that because he like literally made a point about how many chambers.
Yeah, I know. I watched the same fucking documentary. I love beavers.
Really? Okay.
Of course, yes.
And it's thought that this one was passed down through up to 15 generations. That makes it older than the state of California. And it's like, there's no way for you to know any of this. How could you know? Those sticks aren't that old.
It's because the layers. I've blown up a lot of beaver dams. It's
maybe they can.
Have you really?
Yeah, with tannerite.
What's
It
the
makes you more of a
for
terrorist
fun
than anything.
or for like purpose?
Both.
Wait, what's the purpose? I could imagine fun.
Well, they're blocking a creek. You know, they're damming up the creek, and now your land floods. My dad's property has like creeks intersecting kind of throughout it, and they dam one of them up, and all of a sudden now, when there's a big rain, big area of the field would flood out or whatever. But also, it's fun blowing something up. You know,
Yeah.
stuff that bitch full of tannerite and everything explodes and
chamber.
It's good stuff. It's also fun to shoot the beavers.
I'm glad Taylor
Are you allowed
left
to do that?
before that came up. He's a big fan.
Who doesn't like beaver?
No one jumped on the Blade suicidal thing, and it's still stuck in my head. Does anyone else see that as like an
What do you mean?
underlying?
Where do you hear that he's suicidal?
I made it up. Yeah, just to be clear.
I thought you were just making a joke.
No, this is a guy who's drank himself to diabetes. And I'm influenced by Boogie, who's come on the show and said that his morbid obesity was a slow-acting suicide, which I think I heard from another heavy person too. And I'm just looking at Blade and thinking that his slow alcohol thing is an acceptance of the fact that he's okay with a life that ends at, I don't know, 40. And
I think he's just a man that really likes Jaeger. I think that's what we've got here. This is a guy who, you know.
I think Woody, your point requires a little bit more reflection, right? Like that's like step 3. If you only want to think to step 2, does it mean that you want step 3, or does it just mean you're not fucking paying any attention to
you've
that?
accepted step 3. I don't know. It's just like I think
you had another guy on here on the PK. I can't remember his name. Shoe something.
Shoe Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Shoe Nice. He's not. His end looks very similar, in my opinion.
Boogie's much more of a thinker than Shoe Nice seems to be.
Sure, but this guy, judging only from his teeth picture,
I
like...
think of Blade as a thinker also.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know him.
I won't ask you to step in, but yeah, I think of Blade as a thinker too, and just a guy who's accepted that while most people wouldn't want to go here, he's like, fuck it, I'll go. And
I don't think he's thinking about much at all. I think he stays drunk most of the time and sort of like falls forward through life, you know, just what, you know, he's never struck me as a real, I mean, you know.
But what he was saying, the opposite. What he was saying,
drinks and he screams and he parties.
So why is he doing it, Woody? If he's thinking, why?
Why is he doing it?
Yeah.
Well, he's addicted, and there's like a pleasure-pain balance, and the pleasure he gets from taking the wrong road is worse than the pain that he gets from taking the right road. And he's just not looking the long term at the pain it takes to go to the right way. Maybe I didn't lay that out right? But I think like a lot of people make decisions to skip class, to go to class, etc. There's a short-term pleasure pain equation and a long-term one. And he's putting too much emphasis on the short one and has decided that if that leads to suicide, fuck it, I'll accept that. It's still the winning equation for him. Like there is no long-term pain. There's just death.
Even you think with like losing a leg, that wouldn't be a wake the fuck up moment for most people?
I've had that.
Like it would be for most people.
Takes less alcohol to get drunk.
Sure.
I've had that same thought process. Like, how is this not his wake-up call? How is this not his wake-up call? You know, I could even understand it when it was the first little sore. It didn't look as serious to me as it did to everybody else. And then it was a bigger sore, and then it's like multiple large, deep sores. And, you know, I'm like, whoa, all right. So this is real, like, even to my untrained eye who keeps looking at this through a favorable light, this looks like foot losing shit. But, you know, that didn't wake him up. The teeth aren't waking up.
I do think it has to go a really long way before he'll actually lose the foot. I was watching, when I was in prison, I was watching, I think it was either people doing crocodile or something similar. It's this intravenous drug that they do in Russia a lot. and it makes your flesh rot. And this guy had been shooting it, I think, into his foot. But I just remember, like, he unbandages the foot, and the doctor's like, it looks atrocious. Like, imagine a foot that looks blackened and like splotchy and like rotten.
Exposed bone?
A little.
Okay.
A little. Like, yeah. And the doctor's like, oh, this is much better. And I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, I think you've got a good chance of keeping it, but stay off the crocodile, am I right? And he's like, this is when Alex decided to go score some more crocodile. He's like, she said I'm doing great.
Yeah. I almost broke and Googled what a amputation diabetic foot would look like, but I'm not gonna.
The link goes right to our OnlyUseMeBlade.
Yeah. But I might at some point I wonder, like, what does a pre-amputation foot look like? How bad does it have to be for diabetes?
I feel like an asshole talking about Blade like this, to be honest. Like I do like Blade as a guy. Like all my interactions with him, like I've really enjoyed his company.
Independent though, right? You can like a guy and still think his decisions are stupid.
I think that's where I am. Where like I wish he would. I'm almost saying these things because I wish that he would stop hurting himself. I am saying them that for that reason. Also because it's funny and that's my job to make people laugh. But I really don't like what he's doing here to himself. It's fucked. It's hard to watch. It's like this is the sort
of like you get some variation of this, like WWF or something, right? Like, or WWE rather, right? Like where people are fucking slamming their bodies into shit for the short term of like the money and the payoff and the fucking entertainment and whatever. And there's some iteration of that here, but like this feels worse, right?
Yeah, something about like the kind of harm that he's doing to himself. You know, like a broken leg would be so much better.
Yeah, this is
infinitely better. Some of this might be irreparable, and like I'm not a doctor, you know. We
what?
You know what I'm saying is like everything we know about medical stuff sort of like comes from our internet and Netflix binging and stuff like that. However, like you've got to know that like the difference between an injury that's there because of an external source versus an internal one is vast. You know, like
amputation's a bad thing.
Amputation's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it doesn't grow back.
But point being, but this goes back to Woody's point then. Like,
unless
sometimes, like, what do you do with this? like, what do you do with it? This person is clearly on a path to something.
There's nothing to be done.
There's nothing to do.
Sure,
like he's his own man.
He can't do like unless he wants to. Like it's like with anyone who's doing coke or drinking, like or an alcoholic or a drug addict, like. You can send them to rehab. You can do all sorts of stuff, but until the day comes where they're like, "I want this to stop," nothing's going to change.
Even
sure.
Food.
What's your? I don't know. What are you all's relationship? He's been on the show a couple times. A friend of yours?
No, I don't know that he's. If he has,
he has been on the show a long time ago.
It's probably been 6 or 7 years. I hung out with him at like 2 or 3 events or something like that, and you know had a couple private conversations. I don't know. He gave me a blunt one time. We smoked that. You know that's about it. And also I think the real connection is that like we were all kinds of fans of his back in the day. Like we were sort of a community of people who made this Call of Duty content, and everybody tried to pick their own flavor, you know, and some people really excelled at becoming their own flavor, and some people failed it. I think Woody and I were great at creating our own flavors of content, right? Like he had a very specific thing that
no one else was in my space. Yeah.
They really weren't. The adult who could sort of educate you on adult things because you're sort of at a coming of age sort of thing. It's nice to get advice from somebody who's actually done these things. And you know, some people went for goofy and zany and funny, and Blade had his own flavor with his thing. He was real chill and laid back. Hey guys, Blade here, and he stabbed people with a knife. So his content's completely different than anybody else's. Everybody, the one thing that everybody did, he doesn't even do. And, you know, so we're kind of fans of his back there. I watched his content very regularly. And now to see, you know, like 10 years later, and he appears to have his teeth rotting out of his head. He appears to be very unhealthy. He's got some sort of necrosis on his foot. And he's surrounded himself with people who think that's funny.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Use it for content.
Yeah. It's real fucked up. It really is. I can't imagine being one of the people who watches the stream and laughs about it. Like there's something about the separation of being here and discussing it. But like, I don't know. I see like I've seen clips of them like in his chat, and like you can read the chat, and they're like, "Poor Jaeger in the wound," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And they did pour Jaeger in the wound.
Did it help?
Yeah, it healed right up.
See that you probably feel foolish now.
What if he lit it on fire?
Yeah, if he puts it like Rambo, he put a little gunpowder in it.
That's how you heal it.
It wouldn't be that bad. It'd kill any infection in there. It'd cauterize it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make blood start flowing again.
It'd stop
you
the
run
blood
out
from
of
flowing.
content when you run out of limbs then? With the model like that?
Eventually you will if you're diabetic and you don't do anything about it and you drink the sugariest liquid on earth.
I think Taylor was the one that said he was going to be like Oscar Pistorius. He was going to be OnlyUseMeBlade runner.
Yeah, OnlyUseMeBlade legs. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that could be the next chapter here. Not
what
likely.
if he became like a Paralympic athlete? That's where this went, and it all came full circle. And he was like, back in the day, I had people left and right saying, "Put the bottle down, put the bottle down." Well, look at me now, world. 3 gold medals, beautiful wife. I'm the fastest man on blades. He's already got the social media presence. Everything's already named. Only use me blade. he's on a box of weed. He's just.
Someone's got to Photoshop
that. He's just fucking fit. He's ripped. He's literally the fastest man alive. Because I think those Blade Runner guys run faster than just a regular runner?
Powers. Yeah. The only people who can compete with them,
none of them have
human retention.
I haven't ejaculated in 4 years.
I don't think they are.
I run
faster
65
than
miles per hour.
But there's
only
no
the
way to
beaver
know.
could keep up.
I'm pretty sure that they're not only faster, Woody, but much faster.
I think the world speed record for using those blade legs is 37 miles an hour. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It sounds right.
That does sound right.
It's almost unbelievable.
Not for me. I can easily believe that.
You put a canyon in those things? If he's getting pulled over by the cops, he's going so fast.
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
They're not taking him alive.
Even when he's stationary.
He's got a knife or something on his leg.
Weapons down. It's like that Edward Scissorhands scene.
Before we get off of these train wrecks, I heard through the grapevine that you're still on Team Blade.
Shit. Blade is a troubled dude. I don't know. Do you think he's guilty of hurting that girl?
I don't know anything about that. I'm not informed enough to make a decision on that. But like, Blade has done enough under the influence of alcohol to give me a really good grasp of what kind of person he is. Granted, I've met him twice in real life, and I've seen like behind the scenes stuff that other people don't get to see.
Good experience, right?
Right. But at the same time, it's like he comes off as a dude that is spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of there's a saying that a drunk man says what an honest man thinks. And every time I see a clip of Blade, I think about that saying. And you see him like throwing dogs and being racist and like pissing on other men's wives and things like that nature. And it's like just crossing lines over and over and over again. And in my head, I feel like Blade would think about these things if he was sober, but he's actually acting on them because he's drunk. And to me, that makes him a piece of shit.
You're winning me over. Like throwing the dog, I hate it. Part of me is like, is that a mistake I could ever make? It's not a mistake I have ever made. Throw the cat, by the way. I'm on team cat thrower, just for the record.
Yeah. Can't say that. I have 2 cats now.
Dude, if you threw your cat, she'd be perfectly fine. It'd be no different than her jumping off the fireplace mantle.
I understand this. My cats jump off the refrigerator.
PKA reference, you will understand. Cats are built for that.
But my cats will whoop my ass.
I feel like I could, if I'm sitting on a couch and I just throw a cat, like, from the chest gently, right? So it arcs and lands on the other side of the coffee table. That cat's fine. That cat is 100% fine. He jumps farther than you just threw him all the time. I'm joking, but I'm only half joking. I do feel like, and the dog he threw was the least athletic dog in the world, right? If it was one of those 18-pound agility dogs that like goes through the sticks on TV, then it might have landed on its feet in an athletic way. If it was one of those farm dogs that jumps and then Matrix style goes sideways through the fence that you see on Reddit, then that might have been a different thing. But that dog was a fucking slug, a hot dog bun with 2 short legs, and it was
live without humans.
Can't live without humans. It's an act of cruelty to throw that thing, and I have a hard time getting past it. The girl thing, the video is so bad, I don't know what to make of it.
You're talking about the one in the RV at this point, right?
Yeah. He was clearly drunk and trying to get with some girl who was too drunk to consent, but he was drunk too, and I have a difficult time. Like, while morally I know it's bad, I don't morally know what the punishment should be when 2 people are drunk. I'm very confused. It was sketch. Yeah, it was sus. I don't know.
Here's my thing.
Okay.
He had a person in the RV with him tell him not to go back there. He did it anyway. Like, generally, like, if sober Woody was in that situation, you're sleepy and there's one bed, you go back there and sleep with the drunk girl.
No.
Even if you're tired. No, you sleep in a chair, you lay on the floor, you sleep on the sofa, you find another means.
Yeah. That where he should have been. I don't know, bro. He's an alcoholic, right? He's like a legit alcoholic whose body is degrading. It's going horribly. He can't stop himself. He's making bad decisions. He's doing things that hurt people. That's all true.
Here's my call to arms. Can people please stop donating for this guy to drink?
Wow.
Granted, I live my life off donations, right?
Right.
And I'm the person that shouldn't be saying this, but at the same time, I've watched so many men in my life drink themselves to death, and they don't need motivation to do it. And like, I don't know how to really say this. It's like, it hurts me to watch somebody drink themselves to death because I've lost a lot of like prominent men in my life from alcohol. It's a disease called cirrhosis of the liver, which you eventually get. And it is a painful, slow death that I don't wish upon anybody. That's the reason I'm making this statement. Like, please stop doing this to him. If he does it on his own, to himself, at least you can have a clear conscience that you didn't help push toward him.
That's a good point. Yeah, dude. Bro. I think Wings is the alcohol's making. I meant to say Blade. I think the alcohol's making Blade a bad person because I've seen the best side of him. It's not as easy for me to throw him away as I think it would be someone who spent less time with him. And it's not like we spent a lot of time together, just like a couple weekends.
Blade's a chill dude. Like, when he's sober,
yeah.
Blade's the kind of guy that would have your back and you know he's got your back. But like, drunk Blade's a whole different person. But is drunk Blade who Blade really is?
You can't want it enough for someone else to clean it up, right? Like, you can't wish somebody else sober. You can't wish somebody else healthy. They have to want this on their own. So I'm not,
a fat pile of shit.
Say that again.
I feel you. I'm still a fat pile of shit, and I had my stomach cut out.
You can't do it on someone else's behalf. But I also, I don't want to throw him away just yet. I've seen what he can be. That's that.
But at the same time, you've also seen what he's done, and like, at some point, you got to throw him away. I threw him away when he started being racist again. I gave him a pass on the first time he was like openly racist, but the second time he did it, no, you don't get a second pass.
I have a problem with him. I have a problem with that. I think I have a bigger problem than average with the way he hits on other people's wives. Bro,
hits on them. He literally makes out with them.
Yeah, like
I mean,
that stuff
dude
is.
that took him in.
Dude got a divorce over it. Like he altered the course of somebody's life in a negative way. Like that's. I've only seen it on TV. I'm not close to a lot of alcoholics, but you see afterwards, they're like, dude, the devastation and destruction that was in my wake was formidable. It was a big deal. I created big problems for people, and I'm sorry. That's where I feel like Blade needs to get to. Blade, the shit you're doing to people and dogs for that matter is wrong, and it's serious, and these consequences are forever. You're doing some real harm. And why? Because you won't stop drinking? Like, get your shit together. So that I'm mad at him.
I didn't want to pull you out there, but I just don't see how you could fence it on Blade. I understand, like you see the good side of him, but at the same time, it's like I'm sure people give the same lecture to it with me. It's like Wings is a terrible toxic friend. Why do you ever talk to him? Blah blah blah
This
blah.
is what it
But at the same
sounds
time,
like.
I'm not
Go
throwing
away.
dogs and like hitting
I
on
fail to
people's
see
wives
how
and
you
being
still
accused of
think
rape.
that Blade is cool when he's a degenerate alcoholic who
1 second,
has
Wings.
assaulted women on camera multiple times, thrown a dog, and constantly says the N-word. Lol. Kinda feel like that's unforgivable, no?
Let me read that. I got a donation. I want to read it to you, Wings. I fail to see how he's talking to me, still thinks that Blade is cool when he's a degenerate alcoholic who's assaulted women on camera multiple times, thrown a dog, constantly says the N-word. Kind of feels like that's unforgivable, no? Dude, yeah, I hear you. And you didn't even mention, I guess you said assaulted women, but married women, like adds to it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up. And the damage he does is real, and the consequences are huge.
And he don't give a shit. Like he's drunk on some RV somewhere.
Maybe
I don't know
I'm
where he
giving him too much credit. I keep hoping that there's this old Blade inside who's, will someday reemerge. I don't know. Get your shit together, Blade. You're gonna find no one's on your team anymore. So.
Whatever happened to his partner in crime, Ice Poseidon? Like, what happened to that dude? He had a falling off quick.
I'm out of the loop on that, but it's my understanding that Ice Poseidon decided to clean up his act and try to curate a kinder audience and not be so scummy anymore, But I don't know. I haven't watched his content for a bit.
Oh.
So, can we lead OnlyUseMeBlades in the hospital? Please tell me it's not.
Yes. Well, I only saw the image. Someone sent it to me, and it had on his here is it, the image, and it shows him laying in the hospital with his feet down there, and it says they extracted 1,800 cc's, and so 1,800 cc's of fluid.
That's a lot of fluid.
How much is a coffee cup?
I think a cc is a milliliter, isn't it?
That is 60.86 fluid ounces of fluid. Fluid ounces of fluid, yeah. 60 ounce.
Wait,
3 20-ounce sodas.
1,800
Yeah.
cc's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a cc and a milliliter are the same thing, I believe.
1,000 cc's is a powerful motorcycle.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm just because I know how big these pistons are. My jet
So what
ski
we're
was
saying here, folks, so you can understand, is Blade had the displacement of a Yamaha R1 removed.
a BMW R18, Kyle. Get it right.
Which is faster, the R18 or the R1?
I wouldn't
or
know.
Blade.
The R18 is OnlyUseMeBlade is the fastest. It has to be the R1. The R18 is not a sport bike. It's like a big cruiser thing. Anyway, it's the biggest ever flat twin. I guess
I thought for sure anyway was going to lead back to Blade. It's the biggest flat twin there is.
It was supposed to.
When you're on board the BMW R18, the last thing in your mind is the diabetes that is slowly creeping through your body. I promise you that.
When you're on a Yamaha RX Blade, all you feel is the wind in your hair. 1,800 cc's of fluid.
The Grim Reaper could never catch you on a Yamaha
There has
R1.
to be a good 15% of the audience that identifies CCs in piston displacements like I do.
No.
What?
No. Well, absolutely not.
Most
They
of
would
them
have to
think
be in
about
the
it
small
like I
engines,
do.
first of all. and they would have to make an enormous leap because we're talking about Blade's medical situation.
Yeah, well,
this is insane what you've done.
I can't do CCs in syringes. I have no idea. And then a light bulb went off, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know CCs. I've been working on small engines since I was a teenager.
Yeah, it's like,
well, I just thought of it like a CC is a milliliter, and 1,000 milliliters is a liter.
That's a thing.
Well, you know what a liter is. You've seen like a 1 liter
hey,
Mountain Dew.
Why didn't we do 2 liters of Pepsi? Right on the gate.
I was trying to get there, and then you went to fucking
we had important small engine shit to cover, Kyle.
I said 320-ounce sodas right away.
Imagine if we were the 3 doctors working on Blade, and he's laying there like dying as we argue over flat top, high piston displacement compression engines.
Kyle's poking us both, and we're going whoop 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 whoop. Yeah.
Viewers, I don't know why I didn't go to the 2 liter soda faster. So wait a minute. 1,800 cc's removed, that has to be a significant weight loss, right?
Oh
like,
my God.
If you remove 1,800 cc's from anywhere on my body, that part of the body would look better, or at least smaller.
Well, look.
I think the problem was the swelling. Look at his fucking leg, Woody.
Oh, did you guys link a picture?
Yes. His leg looks like
I'll do it
again. It's got 1.5 liters of liquid in it.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Dude, if you had if the doctor told you got about 3 ounces of weird fluid hanging out in your body somewhere, you'd be like, oh my God, oh no, 3 ounces.
Jesus.
That's a lot. If someone tells you got, a 2 liter of Diet Pepsi just stuck under your skin that we need to flay open and pour out. Like that's
I bet it was under high pressure too. So like they probably put that syringe in there and they did that thing where they pull the back off of it and it just
If the doctor told me they had to extract 1,800 cc's, I'd be like, "Can you put it to me in automotive terms? Is that like a Honda Civic?
Can you remove it and then put it in my muscle area?"
Actually, yes, it is. The new Honda Civics have a 1.8 liter turbo. Now the turbo won't apply here because.
Okay, I've dragged that on too far.
What if I want a nice bubble butt?
So I wonder.
Oh,
how
that's
that
coming
happens.
back twice more.
What do we just
law of 3?
I'm not a doctor. What is swelling like? What would cause it?
My
mind's
I
always
am a
thinking dumbest
doctor.
Places
And
well, maybe he did the MMA fighting. No, that's probably not it.
I am a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that he's got some severe fluid retention caused by something horrible that he has done to his body for the last 35 years.
But why kick on now as he's cleaning up? Right?
Do we really think he's cleaning up?
It's my understanding he's on a no alcohol George Foreman and spinach kick now.
He was on a mostly no alcohol situation last time we saw him, which is like a month and a half ago now.
Yes, that is a lot of time to pass.
It
mostly no alcohol. Who knows what that means?
He said almost no alcohol. He's like, well, yeah, I got drunk Friday night, but it was Friday night. How often does that happen?
They're going to cut that open and it's going to smell like licorice from all of the fucking Jaeger that's pooled in there.
Just fucking. Do you want ants? This is how you get ants. Clean that blood up. Good God.
This is the stickiest patient we've ever had. He's what, 30, 35 proof? They're 70 proof, I guess. Yeah, this is rough. When you have that much fluid collected in your body, it's generally seen medically as a very, they call that a 2 thumbs down scenario.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I read that.
When you're in the doctor's office, this is a number 8 frowny face. Do not want that, especially number 9 and 10. So hopefully he, being in the hospital again, maybe it's scaring him straight again, or maybe, I don't know, but usually
I've been chatting with Blade a little bit on Discord every now and then. I added him on Discord. Didn't know anything about this. This is very recent, I'm sure. I'll check with him after the show tonight if he's online, and I'll bring back some information next week if I can get it. I hope he's okay, because I really do like Blade. As a guy, I really do. We goof around a little bit, but I do like him. I genuinely do. I met I don't know, every single YouTuber from that Call of Duty era, and Blade's one of the most chill, laid back, nice guys that I've met out of that whole group. So I
Best
wish him
version
the
of
best.
Blade is as good as it gets. That's my take on it. It's just we need that version to be the predominant version.
Worst version,
not
ideal.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot,
Yeah, he's
but
struggling.
that looks very unhealthy. if you're listening to the audio only version of this, you fool, then his right leg is, it appears to me, maybe it's just the angle, but it appears 3 times larger in circumference than the left.
It looks like one of the Lord of the Rings forced perspective Hobbit tricks.
Yes, it does.
Can you believe one of
and
them
it's his
is on the
quad.
same leg?
Like his quad is swollen so dramatically. It literally looks like what a 2-liter fluid displacement would look
Look at
like.
his right foot. Like, kind of go down a bit. Look at his right. You can see the discoloration there, sticking out of some very clean socks.
See, that's a sock, Taylor. That's a sock he's wearing.
What discoloration are you seeing? Like right above the ankle?
Bottom, right at his ankle on his right leg. You can see it, like, it almost looks bruised and purpley.
Oh God, I hope that's a tattoo, dude.
I see what
We know it's not.
You're probably right. I attributed it to hair. There's hair in my body that's not very dense, but if you look at it like vertically, it looks more dense.
A little downlighting. Yeah, I really hope that's a tattoo around the man's ankle, because otherwise, that is wildly unhealthy. Again, as a doctor, I would say that's some sort of.
So you want like a anchor, a skull and crossbones? Nah, I want you to make it look like my foot's about to die. So you want like a speckled bruise?
The number 9. All right.
Yeah, the number 9. Yeah. So best, thoughts and prayers fired out over to him.
Jesus.
I
wonder how he's doing. He's going social media silent, right?
Hot.
I don't know. I remember last time we discussed him, he'd been banned from something. I don't know. Is he streaming anymore?
So he has an Instagram. February 15th is his last. Oh, let me read this actually. Instagram, February 15th. I haven't pre-read this, so we'll see where this goes. Everyone wants an update. It's been a constant thing that has actually been annoying me. I'm not ignoring my viewers. Hell, this is a personal Insta. But a lot of you guys just want to know my next move or what I'm going to do. I don't have anything for you. I honestly don't know. All I know is that I'm at peace in love with my soulmate. I didn't get her flowers today, Valentine's Day. Not because I forgot. It's just when I do stuff like that, it's never an I'm sorry flowers or because of a tradition. Okay, this is tough to read. Every single day with this woman is special, and I'm in a very peaceful place. When I lost my YouTube channel, I wasn't devastated or mad. I have her, my rock, my peace, my everything. So to those that are frustrated that I haven't given you an update, I'm just cherishing every single day with my soulmate, my woman, my everything. This is my Valentine's message to her, Bakara 15, the only one I want to grope. That's your update. That was sweet.
Like he's doing a lot better. Good for him. Like, I mean, clearly the whole streaming thing was like feeding in a feedback loop of destruction, like just drinking all the time and feeling crappy about it and all that. So
I must be a bad person because I read what wasn't there. I didn't read anything about employment. I didn't read anything about like things going well. All I read is every piece about me is completely about somebody else.
I mean, it's probably good for him to get away from that online streaming world for a while.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I don't think that was going to go any place in a healthy direction, but to go into a healthy direction, I would like to see him say, hey, got my teeth fixed, got a job, no longer dependent on substances. I like, that's where we want to see him going. What he said was, I'm incomplete without someone else to fulfill me. And like,
I mean, it seems like he's doing better, so hopefully he is. Kyle, you are muted, my friend.
As long as he has all of his appendages, things are on an upswing. Because, you know, it looked like he was going to lose some toes a while back.
That's a huge win. It really did look like a couple toes were going to be gone, and he hasn't lost.
Yeah, I don't know. I side with Woody on this. You know, but look, he's in love. That's
good.
Better than
that's.
I mean, there's worse things. There's worse things, right? Like, you know, he could be like, oh yeah, all I care about right now is heroin, my rock, my one love. Sweet heroin, black tar heroin in my fucking wrist, in my fucking between my toes, hiding them track marks from the PO. I love heroin.
Yeah, it would be funny if that whole thing he wrote, then he reveals it was to Jaeger at the
end. My rock, my love, my one true sense of being at Jägermeister.
Jägermeister's like, hey, glad you love the product.
We're sending you a complimentary case. And he's just like, no, you don't know what you've done.
I bet that happens on like alcohol social media channels. Like someone will be like, I love Tito's. I fucking love Tito's. Send me something. And then they're like, here's a free Tito's bottle or a bottle opener. And then they're like, here's a picture of all the Tito's I drank last week. It's just like piles of bottles. Like, wait for Kyle to get back because I didn't know if you'd have anything to say. So it was over 2.5 years ago now that we had Blade on the show. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was. And every time, like, he's one of those guys, he'll pop in your head and from time to time. And I kind of just picture like the dog throwing clip or like a groping. And then that's kind of it. And just last night before bed, randomly, I'm like, what the hell is Blade up to? And so I pulled up that episode with us and him from like coming up on almost 3 years ago, and then just stopped at like a minute so I could see, still frame, point of comparison. And then I went and had to find like his bootleg, like third backup channel that hasn't been banned yet and try and find recent streams. And keep in mind, like, correct me if my timeline is wrong, but at the time we had him on 2.5 years ago, that story of his untreated diabetes causing lesions in his leg, that was old hat. That was old news at the time. Like, people knew about that. Okay.
He had kind of come full circle, and it seemed to be improving dramatically. He had gotten the grilled chicken and spinach. It was working. He put that spinach salve on.
And he basically, when he was on the show with us, he kind of said, like, I'm sick of drinking for money. I'm ready to make a change and shift out of this. He said that before, obviously. Like, he was like, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of it. And I was just, and at the time, I remember thinking,
Blade is a really charming guy, and I think he's doing what some charming addicts do, which is tell you what you want to hear, tell you where he is, and lies like a charming addict. And it's so easy to be like, oh, thank goodness, because you like him.
It's easier to want to believe, that someone's taking control.
And he's telling you everything you want to hear, and he's saying it in a friendly way, and you're like, oh, cool, this is good news. And that's how I remember it. Carry on.
And I remember, like, even at the time, because like he'd done some like the groping shit, the dog shit, people were fucking over him. And I remember at the time even thinking, I'm like, if he has a redemption path, it's going to be him getting super serious about sobriety, and then him using his experience as an addict beat toy to be like, hey, I know humiliation. So if you're out there struggling with something, like, don't feel alone. Look at this. Like, look where I was. And like in my head, I was like, that's like the only true way he can come back from it. And at the time I was like, there's still a chance for this. Like, I looked up. No, I don't have a 45 seconds. Sorry, Zach. But don't pull any up in case he doesn't like us saying this. But I went and I found some clips of him recently. And I know we said like years ago, like, dude, you're killing yourself with this. Like, you got to change. He's like, and then we were talking about a slower decline of like alcoholism death. He's in free fall right now. Like, he's dying. Like, if Lady Di from the Opie and Anthony show, she was a drunkard, whack pat kind of person for the Opie and Anthony show. And the exact fucking pattern that happened with Lady Di, as far as body shape, everything happening with Blade, about like not the same time frame and everything. But so she had this thing, and I learned about it from the Opie and Anthony show because they had a doctor call in to like tell Lady Di, like, hey, you have what's called ascites. And Blade very clearly has this same thing called ascites too. And what that is when you drink so much and like your liver is no longer able to process all the toxic shit that it's meant to process. And so it starts weeping fluid out into your body cavity. And so that's why they get those giant bellies. It's being filled with fluid from a weeping liver, and his musculature is gone, like not like thin, like he's gone. There, I saw a short clip of him attempting to sit up from a laying position. It took him 30 seconds. Not because he was drunk, because his muscles are gone. Like, they're atrophying. It's like he is dying quickly. Like, if he doesn't make a change yesterday, like fucking now, he'll be dead in the next couple of years. Like, he's in free fall. Like, you can see, like, literally Lady Di had an internship in 2014 or 2013 with O&A, and she had that ascites and everything, and she was starting for her mind to get wonky with Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which is wet brain when you're deficient on thiamine. But the doctor on O&A explained it really well. He was
I'm not doubting you. I'm
wet brain's funny though.
Yeah, but basically the guy was like, when you drink all that time, like Blade is, or like Lady Di was, what it does is it makes your organs swell, and then when you have ascites like that, all this fluid is getting pushed into the body cavity, and what that does is it makes it so his stomach has pressure on it all the time, and so he's not eating at all. All of his calories are coming from liquor, and so you can like see his mind deteriorating now because he just doesn't have the B vitamins requisite for making your fucking mind work correctly. Like he is, and literally within a year of that Lady Di internship. Like it was a year and a half after that internship, she was still with it enough to like know who she was. They called her, Opie and Jim did, after Anthony got fired, and she had totally succumbed to Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. She didn't know who she was. She was in a assisted living center, but she thought she was in the Navy because she was in the Navy 25 years ago. She was talking about how she was on a ship and where she was docked, and she was just an insane person. And like that is where Blade is going imminently. Like he's got to get it. Like it might be fucking too late.
If that happens to him, if he thinks that it's 2009 and he's wanting to play Call of Duty 4 and knife people, can we please have him on the show every week then?
I mean, I guess so.
Can we have like catching up with Blade and just ask about his latest knife killing spree, and then be
Dude,
like, yeah.
I know like Blade is so hated by so many people, rightfully so for a lot of the bullshit he's pulled. But like just from the perspective of seeing a guy who in 2010, 2011, 12 had the world was his oyster. He was one of the first huge guys. Like, and over the past 8-9 years, whatever it was, like, look at that. Look what's fucking happened to him. I see all these documentaries about Blade and they focus on his life as a streamer. Someone should make like a real warning documentary, just tracking, not even talking about his streamer bullshit, just saying like, this is what happens when a person drinks for 10 years straight and doesn't stop.
I was trying to find what you're talking about, like new footage of him. And so I did some searching. I didn't find anything new, but Jesus, the stuff from 2 and 3 years ago is so horrific that the fact that you're saying it's worse now is scaring me, because it's like, OnlyUseMeBlade vomits up his teeth, and I'm like, wow, how have I not heard of that? It's us. Oh goodness, Jaeger tasting shot to Grace Soul. I don't know.
Yeah, stomach is just full of fluid. Like he's.
So I hope
aren't all our stomachs full of fluid?
I'm open to the idea that I'm totally wrong, but I watched Zach's clip at his timestamp, and I went like 2 minutes in, and basically he pours a double shot and he gives a Bjorn update. I guess Bjorn's out of prison. I didn't know he was in prison, whatever. He's talking in the same way he always did. Like, he's a charming guy. There's a reason he has 500,000 people watching him or whatever it is. And he kind of has it together, even though he's really drunk. When I'm really drunk, I don't sound that smooth. But he does. And I don't know. I'm just always... It's like he has something there. And
he's a charismatic guy. That's why he's so popular.
Yeah. And whenever I hear how terrible he is, I'm like, no, he's just some George Foreman chicken and spinach diet away from turning this thing around. Right? If I could just control his intake, then
once you get to that
fine.
point, though, it's impossible, because like you just live like that, and then that's the solution. And then if you drink that much, then giving up is really hard, because you get like go through a detox and shit like that, and just fucks you up.
I think there's a mindset on like what's acceptable, right? Like, I was watching this guy who's doing a motorcycle review. That part's not important, but he's talking about getting a bigger bike because he's turning into a bigger guy. He's getting fat, and he just wants something that's comfortable for a fatso and something that has power for a fatso. Cool. And he's explaining that while he's lost weight before, it always comes right back. When you're heavy, your body like knows how to be fat or something like that. And I'm like, no, you're in a calorie surplus. That's what's happening here. What happens is you restrict yourself for a short term, and then you say, oh, you know what? I'm a guy that eats trail mix. I'm going to bring that back a little bit. Like, trail mix isn't so bad. This isn't so bad. This isn't so bad. And when you have that mindset, things that are so bad are part of what you do, then you get fat again. And I'm pretty sure that applies to the alcohol thing too. You know,
yeah.
Blade is just like, yeah, sure. I stopped drinking for a little bit, but I'm a guy who can do a Jaeger.
When my uncle died of what's the syndrome called? I forget the name of it that you were talking about before. That cooks your brain when you drink too much alcohol.
Korsakoff.
Yeah,
I think that
he died of that like a couple of years back. And when he was drinking, so he started sort of going off the rails, and he couldn't really remember anything. And he had an ex-wife, and they hadn't been together for like 5 years. And she had a restraining order against him. And she came home one day, and he was just sitting on her couch because he used to live at this house. And there's 5 years since they've seen each other. And he's just like, "Hello, honey." And she's just like, "What the fuck are you doing in my house?" He's just like, "What do you mean?" And he just thought he lived there. Like it was just his brain just reverted back to 5 years ago. And he just basically come to the house, assumed he's forgotten his keys, kicked down the door, came in, sat on the couch, and just started drinking a beer and watching telly. And so they got.
Well, I hope she was receptive. It sounds like he's trying to make amends.
Hell no. No, he got arrested. So he got
See,
taken
here's
to jail.
the thing.
But
I always felt
they-
like if you and I are pals, and then we don't talk for a year and a half, and you see me
no, they
again,
weren't
you should be
pals.
like, Woody, we're friends. Yeah, pick
No.
up right where we left off.
No, she kicked him out because he drank too much. But he just assumed they were back together, and so she called the police, and he ended up going to jail for breaching the restraining order. But they didn't diagnose him until he was in jail, and then they were like, "Oh, we get it now. Like he's cooked," and so they put him into like the assisted living kind of thing, which eventually he died in there. But that was that his brain just reverted to 5 years ago, and he was perfectly nice, but he just had no idea what the fuck's going on.
Damn, that's sad. Just not knowing anything about reality. I hope Blade like actually does stop. I hope he gets it together. Like one of the clips I watched of him last night, like it was literally like apparently he is basically homeless. He lives in an RV, and the RV broke down, and he was
Excuse me, a rolling studio.
A rolling studio, whatever. But he was like on the side of the road, like broken down, being like, "That doesn't work. Like I don't have any money."
I will not
to fix
sit
it.
here while you disparage van life, Taylor. All right.
You wouldn't be involved in this kind of van life. You would open that door and you'd be like, "No, I'm into the adventure side, not the getting so drunk."
You dramatically overestimate the quality of the hotels, motels, and RVs that I stay in.
Yeah, you might actually. You'd be like, "Oh, barely vomit on the floor, and it's free." Like, I'll go.
Is there a pillow I can put my broken leg on? It'll do.
I really need to elevate this thing.
I don't see any reason why he would improve, though, right?
I don't think so either. I think it's if it was going to happen,
like
probably
the hard
would've.
part. Once you're
What
there,
happened to
like,
his fiance?
having a once you're in that, like you can't go back in because it's like I feel like shit if I stop drinking. And then in your head, it's just like, it'll be right. And then you like, if you stop, then you have no dopamine. So you're like, oh, fuck, this is killing me. And so you're like, you know what helps? Having a drink. And then you more dopamine. And it's like,
he's in like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Of the same stuff.
I mean, I think he just likes the drink, right?
At this point, I bet he fucking hates it.
No way.
I guarantee he does it now. So
when
that
he
he's not
sees
going
that bottle
through
of Jaeger,
withdrawals.
when he sees that big frosty bottle of Jaeger, so goddamn cold that it's sweating, and when you pour it, it pours out thick. Oh, that hits the spot. It's so goddamn cold.
Oh. I had when we were in high school, there was an alcoholic who described alcoholism, and Kyle's kind of nailing it. Like he's like, you don't drink, then you try just one. You're just gonna have one. He's like, when that warmth hits your chest and that taste of your favorite drink crosses your gullet, it's just like, oh, my friend, we're home. You and I, we're back. And something about the way he phrased it, you could like, this is a guy who loves drinking. And he's like, that's why you can't have even one. You can't have even one drink because it's just, yes, you and I, we're friends. But Jaeger's not your friend.
No.
Well, the human body is a very resilient thing. If you want to take an over and under on Blade's mortality, I'm down. Like I said, I'm in a better mood. I think that the man's got several more good ones in him. Okay.
You think so?
Yeah. I would put the over under on with 3 years. 3 years. I take the
Okay.
over.
I'll do some more medical research, and then I will come back with my.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm taking the over 3 years. You take it or leave it.
No, I'm saying I need to look up. I need to find facts and see what's the more likely one.
Does he know where he is like at all times? Like is he
Not at all times. Sometimes he's in a drunken.
Oh well, no. Yeah, not when he's like completely fucking wasted, but like when he's
honestly, think about it. When he's asleep, he has no idea where he is. And when he's awake, he's drunk. So
I'd give him another 10 because like it's like leeches just linger.
So you're taking the over.
Yeah, heaps of motherfuckers like that just live forever. Like they're just resilient to shit. I don't know why.
Cockroaches. Yes.
Yeah, they just hang out, man.
He's already lived.
I hope he's got
forever with given his behavior.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll live forever. We all will. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, they just seem to linger. Like how spiteful motherfuckers just live until they're like.
I mean, I like
110.
Blade too. Like Blade's always been a really nice guy, but Blade has a serious disease, and he doesn't need us harping on him, being like, "Oh, why don't you stop hurting yourself?" Like, I think he likes himself more than we do. He's not going to stop unless he wants to stop, and he doesn't want to stop. He's having fun.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt he's having fun.
He's having the most fun that he knows how to have.
There's no way he's miserable.
If there was
he is miserable every day from sun up to sundown.
He's having the most fun he knows how to have. I guarantee it.
It's hard
He
to
knew
argue.
how to have
Aren't
more
we all?
fun. He would.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
He's qualified it in a clever way. I have no retort.
But anyway, I looking at that stuff last night. I was like, oh wow, like this. It appears it's accelerated a shit ton in the past couple of years.
Was like alcoholic fat, and then there's Blade, who's lost a bunch of weight. It would seem on alcohol.
That's true, but that's because he's at a phase of like he doesn't eat. I would assume, like he's probably got so
That's
much.
the key to losing weight.
Yeah, but like I want to lose weight while eating, ideally. Like the 1,000 calories a day of vodka and no food. It's just you got to have no energy. You got to feel terrible all the time.
I bet Blade feels wonderful all the time.
I don't think so.
Why would he do it otherwise?
Because he's physically addicted.
The coffee has a.
I would guess that he's physically addicted. I mean, it seems pretty
addicted to feeling great all the time.
Yeah. Addicted to feeling great all the time. I mean, but he's like, just like by the pictures and everything, my guess is like he's at the point where it's like he's waking up feeling sick if he doesn't have any alcohol in the system. And it's like just for him to go back to his normal streaming personality, he has to booze it up a bunch. And then it's like, okay, now I'm back to baseline. And then the next day it's like, I'm so low, I'm even further, I'm a little below the baseline I had yesterday. But the only way out of here I could see is boozing myself up again. Like,
I wish Kyle were here because I'm not sure he knows. But did you know that Blade was having twins?
What? Is this a shit joke?
No.
Blade's
girlfriend has 2 humans inside her right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Maybe Kyle didn't know.
Oh dear.
Kyle, are you aware that OnlyUseMeBlade is about to be a father of twins?
Actually, that rings a bell. I think I heard about.
You knew already.
Come up.
Yeah. I look, I'm only as good as my source, but the source is OnlyUseMeBlade saying we just got the ultrasound and it's twins on a YouTube video. Well,
that seems pretty straightforward.
Right? It's not like it's 3 people removed or anything like that. Either it's Blade himself being untrue or it's true.
And he is the father.
That sounds like a huge mistake.
I don't know. This could be just the thing he needs to pull him out of the funk.
There aren't many people.
2 children.
The man hasn't lived indoors in a decade.
Kyle.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a funk.
Of all the people you've ever met in your entire life, do you know many who are in a worse spot than Blade right now to be a father?
Chuck.
Okay, Chuck. I was thinking, I think we were together in LA when that crazy person yelled at us, the homeless one.
Yeah.
Him, and then Blade's like second.
Man,
Him,
he's only edging out of home.
Chuck, and then Blade. By the way, Chuck is dying of cancer. He's
one of the bad kinds.
I don't know. You know, I don't. I have his like. I deleted it. I had like his whole like report. He's got it everywhere. He's got the everywhere cancer.
Oh dear.
It's weird how cancer goes everywhere. It's like, yes, I've got colon cancer in my lungs and brain and nostrils now. It's like,
yeah,
okay. Oops.
Now it's nostril cancer. Now
Not,
it's lung
apparently,
cancer.
it's not. Did you not know this? Yeah, you get like colon cancer in your vagina, and it's not vaginal cancer. It's still colon cancer. It just spread.
Oh, I thought once it metastasized, they're like, oh, just name it where it is now.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that'll be interesting. That'll be a fun fact. Next time I'm hanging out with doctors, I'll go, hey, something you probably didn't think I know. That's how I like to love conversations. Hey, something you probably assumed I didn't know.
So who's the lucky lady?
It's his girlfriend. Remember, he met Miss Wright.
No, I don't remember.
Blade, OnlyUseMeBlade has a girl. I've seen her in a few videos. She actually seems lovely. Blade is charismatic, and I think that is why he is batting out of his league. I'm looking for a better expression than this. You know, like she seems fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think I can remember what she looks like if I've ever seen a video. I just know that I have rewatched the Lady Di saga on Opie and Anthony enough times to see where this path ends. Like he's starting to develop more physical characteristics of what she was a horrible, over the top alcoholic, also sometimes homeless on the show. And she gets wet brained like 5 years ago. Now she has like dementia, like can't even communicate. And she started to develop like that same look that he is developing, which is like in the last year or two, his arms are so like atrophied. They're so thin.
He's not
his
strong.
belly, like everything, like from here up, there's no muscle. It's just like just sunken almost. And then his belly is like distended and huge, even though he's not eating.
I have more Blade news. You guys might, apparently you don't, I'm sorry, cut you off. You don't follow Blade news as closely as I do. Did you know that he has been cut off of YouTube, banned forever, his only source of income?
What did he do to get, or why did they kick him off?
Not sure. Not sure.
I thought that was a long time ago.
No,
Twitch a long time ago. But
his channel.
Yeah, he I think he's been streaming on YouTube as his primary lately. And now I guess he says he's leaving content creation. He's going to get a regular job and be a normal person.
It'll probably be tougher than he thinks after, having this be his job for so long. That'd be a tough. I feel like that would be so difficult to transition back.
It is a dead end job. It's a dead end job that makes millionaires, but still a dead end job. So I hope you end up on a good road.
Yeah.
That's the scary part about content creation. Like you see this, whatever, like 23-year-old Twitch streamer who's just smashing it, and it's great. But you also know their career ends at 28-ish, maybe. And I hope that you're on Easy Street at the end of your dead end.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really shut down quickly.
I'm smashing this metaphor, by the way. This is going really well.
This is going great.
It's a dead end, but it ends on Easy Street. See what I did? Anyway, what were you saying?
You should have added more things in there. You may take a left. You may end up at a yield. You might even have to roundabout a couple times. But by God, you know to the grindstone. Go to driver's Clinton. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. I started smelling toast. I don't know what happened. Man, that is huge news. He's gonna have 2 kids.
Yeah, 2.
I didn't expect that.
What was that? What did you say before?
OnlyUseMeBlade's gonna have kids before I am.
Oh, he beat me to the. Is probably what you said. You got cut off for a second. Yes, yeah. Unless you have kids in like 6 months somehow.
I can force her to brush it.
Right? I don't think half these women are trying that hard.
No. Good authority, they can pop out as soon as like 5 months.
If you get 2 women to work together, 4.5 months.
Gestation period.
Yeah.
So that's mind-boggling news that Blade's going to have kids, because it's. I hope it goes well for him. I hope he turns it around and gets like a, I guess, regular job. But like what's he going to do in the meantime? You know, like if that was his only means of income, and I'm guessing there, does he go to a different streaming site? Like I know he can't go to Twitch, he can't go to YouTube. There's like some smaller streaming sites, I guess, but those are so less known. Like what kind of audience are you going to bring with you?
Yeah. Is there a Periscope business model? Do people make good money on that? Could he be a big time TikToker?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think the answer is no. That's not really what his skill set lends itself to.
Yeah. You go to, there's Mixer. There's D-Live.
Mixer, the Microsoft one that shut down as Shroud left it?
Oh, is that shut down? I just went to Social Blade and opened up like the options of what you can search. I'm just reading down the list. So I don't know what Trovo is, or Dailymotion, or Storyfire. But I know D-Live, that's a smaller streaming site. TikTok is, well, I guess TikTok's a big streaming site. Twitch, as we said, already said no to him. Yeah, that's a rough position to be in. I wonder what it was that finally gave him the axe.
Yeah, I don't know either. If I'm YouTube, I'm almost looking for a reason, right? Like, there it is. He said the F word. He's out. Like, really? Everyone says it. Yeah, but we've been looking for a reason for you. Because he just does drunken debauchery streams all the time. Like, that's not really what YouTube wants.
Was it big? Were they big enough streams to be pulling that much attention, though? I don't remember. I don't know how many
I don't
people.
know. I almost
big like ice.
In my head, kind of like Wings, like the highlights are bigger than the everyday streams. You know, the 10 minutes that come out of it every so often are the like big moments. So Blade's pretty famous.
Yeah, it might be a blessing in disguise for his YouTube channel to be gone, to remove this as an option. Income, like because like he's like, this is gonna kill him eventually if he doesn't stop this level of drinking. You know,
Taylor, that's
like,
months away.
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of hard to gauge those things, but we could probably have a doctor take a look at him and give us info.
I mean, I think he's gonna make it through 2020.
Yeah, maybe. Still enough time for a twist.
Yeah, you're right though. He is. I might be looking at the teeth thing kills me. The teeth thing is like, that would be a major catastrophe in my mind. The losing the foot thing, it was always theoretical, and I viewed it through a weird lens. Like all he needed was some chicken and broccoli, and you know, he would clean up. And it turns out I was right. Guy took a 2-week break, and his foot came back fine. Old Woodman knew all along that foot was not a big deal.
It was either that or the Jägermeister that his friends were pouring on it while he was passed out.
Mix of both.
The disinfectant theory. I like it. So now his leg is fine. That bounced right back. Everyone thought it was going to fall off, even that dumbass doctor. But those teeth aren't coming back.
Fucking idiot. He's just like fist pumping, downing a bottle of Jaeger. Like, yes, out of the woods forever.
The doctor should have just poured some Jaeger on it. This will make it come right back.
So I didn't know that his foot came back to life.
Yeah, apparently there's not much to see there anymore. It could kind of bounce back.
Yeah, but it's like, if he waited for that to fix itself and then went right back to drinking at the level he did when he had his foot go fucked, it's like, it's just going to go faster to that finish line this time than last time. Because you're older, like your body's probably not as strong as it was last time.
Apparently not. Apparently
he needs a ton of chicken.
He was losing his foot. He took like a 10-day sobriety break. It bounced back. Now he's drinking on an Olympic level once again, and his foot's fine. It migrated to his teeth.
Sobriety break confirmed, or was that just told to us?
Just told to us. So maybe Kyle's right. Maybe it was the pouring Jaeger on the foot, and there was no sobriety break ever.
That's what I do.
Diabetics, give that a go.
Yeah. If you're just beginning to dip your toe into type 2 diabetes, you can get that fixed. Cut some weight. Don't.
I thought you were going to tell him to pour Jaeger on it.
Oh, no. Jaeger's too much sugar. That's not good for diabetics.
Apparently, if you apply it externally, topically is what I was looking for, then it's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't use Jaeger. I'd use the cheap kind at Walgreens. That's a high enough, the kind that's not full of sugar and syrup that you don't want to introduce into an open wound.
Well, that stuff sounds.
He's always loved that stuff.
It's like,
Jaeger?
I know. And I don't get it because it's just not that good. It's not
that bad either, though. I kind of like it. Like I haven't had it in a long time.
If you were gonna, let's say, your mindset for that evening is I'm going out with buddies or a girl or whatever. I'm in the mood. I'm gonna get good and drunk. Would you ever be like Jaeger only for me tonight, everyone, and just
maybe Jaeger bombs? Maybe Jaeger bombs especially if I was a little tired already. I could see doing that because and that's what I used to drink with him. Was Jaeger bombs every time.
What's the one with
because it's a little bit of Red Bull and your shot of Jaeger, but you down those real quick in a group generally, and then it's like, all right, well, let's go get a beer, or you're gonna have a glass of wine. It's rare. It's like another one. Yeah, I'm just Jaeger bombs tonight.
Is there one where you put a Dr. Pepper in another drink, like a shot of Dr. Pepper in something?
Probably.
I thought you guys would know it right away.
I don't order or know mixed drinks very well. They always seem festive though. So if I'm out, I'll order a beer and someone else order something festive, and I always regret not going for the festive route. They get little umbrellas, neon colors, fun glasses.
Maybe I'm just wrong. These all look like uncommon things.
Yeah. But anyway, Kyle, you wouldn't get drunk on Jaeger bombs. You would maybe have a couple and then transition to whatever it is you like to drink.
Yeah, I like tequila. I would probably just drink tequila. Yeah, I would just do shots of tequila.
I guess you were a bad person to ask because you've always been like that too, where you're like, no, I don't want a beer. I want all the alcohol in a beer inserted into me immediately.
Rectally. If possible. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably like Kyle in that regard. I don't know. I don't want any of it. Not only do I not want to drink it, I don't want to be drunk afterwards. Just keep all that to yourself. You do you.
This Colorado trip, if we ever end up being able to take it, Woody's going to take one hit and be like, I don't like it any more than alcohol.
It's so much worse. It's so much worse.
Everyone
Woody,
seems to like
watching Practical Jokers with us. Just trust us.
When's the last time you smelled a funnel cake? You remember. That's how good they smell.
They're great.
They're incredible. It's just fried bread.
You can feel you get tired.
If you lived on funnel cakes, you'd have a hard time with Seco. Fuck, man, I only ate one fried bread sandwich today. What happened?
How many days in a row do you think you could eat nothing but funnel cake before you had to actually go to the hospital?
No, I think you could live on funnel cake as long as you supplemented, stayed hydrated, and brushed your goddamn teeth.
You're not supplementing. You got water.
No vitamins.
No, it's not vitamin.
I think you could go.
It's a funnel cake and water diet. Can we put strawberries on the funnel cake? Isn't that a thing?
Fruits.
No, that has dangerous vitamins in it, and that could extend the content.
Just powdered sugar, huh?
Just powdered sugar.
Well, I think a young man could do it for a decade, but I think that starting in your late 30s, late 40s, something like that is a recipe for something to come on real quick. You're like, well, see, you don't understand, Mr. Woodworth. Your healthy diet was all that was keeping all that evil at bay. So now that you've switched to funnel cakes, you're just rife with infections, and you got boils coming on you. Who knows what could happen? Look at OnlyUseMeBlade. Here's a man who has a very particular diet that is bad for you. When we see the maladies that have cropped up on him, and they're not things that would come straight to mind, you wouldn't think, yeah, have a bad diet, drink liquor, your toes will rot off. But there they are, rotting off.
It's true.
If it ever falls off, he should put it in acrylic, like they put hot dogs on Reddit, you know, and he should auction it off. So on Reddit, maybe you don't know this, Taylor, they do this thing where they take household items, and one of the more famous ones was a full hot dog, dressed and everything, and they encased it in clear acrylic, which they then polished and made look pretty, and now you have a forever hot dog because it's like frozen in this block of hard plastic that's clear. So you could. I want that done to OnlyUseMeBlade's toe. Should the inevitable, unfortunate amputation transpire, and then you auction that thing off. $500. I'm opening at $500
for it.
I was going to say, is there an update on Blade's leg? Like, is it still all right? Is it still there?
It's still there as far as we know.
Yeah,
but I don't know any updates about him. Like, seriously,
what's the law about owning body parts?
Seems like he's in the same place. You can own owning body parts. Like,
here's what I want. Could I own a human skeleton, a real one? Like how would you procure, say, a human skull, a human hand, anything like that was real deal human hand? Obviously, I don't want to do anything bad. I don't want to rob a grave. I'm saying, like, could I buy one legally?
I was gonna say the least bad way to do it is like robbing a grave, because otherwise, what do you like? You can't go to the store. You would have to cut somebody's fucking hand off if you want.
I was thinking you'd go to a hospital. Don't they throw that stuff away all the time?
No, they use it for. Well, either the families claim it. It goes to a. I think if it's like a bum and it's completely unclaimed, those are the people that they're like, what happens when you throw a body in a Hyundai and leave it in the sun for 6 months? Come here, Rufus. I'm not dead yet. They do that to them. That's a thing they do. I think it's down in Florida or Georgia. I've seen video of where they do it. They're like, this is where we let bodies rot in various different ways to discover, so that then when we discover bodies, we're like, oh, this is 3 weeks of decomposition in Florida and you know, a humid, etc. environment. They add up all the ingredients.
Every state needs to do it.
Well, down there, they were doing different things. One of the things was they threw the person in a car, and you know how hot cars get in the summer down here. They literally kill people. I have no idea.
It had to be towards the start.
The early shows are kind of a blur for me for some reason.
Well, as us Call of Duty guys, we used to gauge it, not what year it was, but what game was out. So I was probably talking to you during the Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1.
Yeah, I would think Modern Warfare 2, but yeah, something like that. Be sure to be nice and loud with that mic, Blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Blade, did you say you were 1 month sober?
Yes, technically I am 1 month sober.
Technically.
Yeah, what is technically sober? We're just meth now?
No. I'm not quite 1 month sober. I'm like 3.5 weeks sober, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I just rounded up to make it sound good.
I stopped shooting up. Now I just snort the heroin. Technically,
I did do a stream with this guy. I don't know if you guys know him. His name's OG Geezer in Vegas, because people were begging me to like get out of this house. Like, you know, there's nothing to do there's no way to do actual IRL streaming right now. So, but I went and traveled, got some stuff out of my storage, and then after that, I started having some pain in my leg, and it got to the point that I basically went to the doctor, and I knew, you know, basically I've been to the doctor. They've treated me with, you know, diabetes and high blood pressure, and I knew about it, but I wasn't taking it seriously. This time I'm taking it seriously, so obviously just had to cut out the booze. I'm out of the hospital. I'm taking 1 million pills and taking insulin shots and stuff like that. And then obviously I want to have alcohol out of the system during that time. And also it's good to cleanse. Like, even when I was like actively drinking, like, you know, 5 times a week or whatever, just to take like 3 days off to give your body, you know, some fucking time to recover is good. So it's more so for my health as whatever. So once I get my health back to where it needs to be, then we can like look at my levels, do a drinking stream, and see where we're at there, and see if like we can still keep a healthy Blade and a intoxicated Blade.
I just imagine your liver is like Sylvester Stallone at the end of a Rocky movie. He's just like, he's barely standing, his face is just all puffed up. He's like, I didn't hear no bell.
It's more like that handicapped South Park kid. He's like, kill me, kill me. So I gotta know, what was because obviously like the images of your feet and legs have been floating around forever, and that was That's what kind of scared all of us. We're like, oh shit, this is real deal. This is scary.
That scared me too, dude. Because that's like, if I would have let that get worse, they would have cut my shit off. So like that was definitely a fucking wake up.
But it didn't do it. It was a wake up call, but that was like 4 months ago, right?
I know.
Well, sometimes you wake up and then you roll over and
it sounds like my day today. To be honest with you,
you just hit snooze on that bitch.
We at the doctor, he basically showed me how to clean it and to disinfect it, and now there's still a scar, but there's no hole. Like there's no opening, there's no pus, there's no. And as far as the leg
pus, sounds good to me.
Well, I'm just saying there's no like you can't peel anything, you can't like get inside of it, unless you like, I guess if you took like a scalpel or something. So the scar's there, but the actual they actually did an MRI or CAT scan on it when I was there this last time, and they said that the bacteria that was in there before that was trying to eat away at the bone, that's all gone. So the toe's good.
Bacteria in there eating at the bone. See, this is okay. Forgive me, but this is news to me. Maybe this was something you've talked about publicly, and I just didn't know. There was bacteria eating at the bone.
Yeah.
That's
not proud of that.
At all.
Not saying that that's a normal everyday occurrence, and
but
everyone
it's
deals
good
with it.
content.
They don't. Yeah.
What did they prescribe for that? Was it mostly grilled chicken and spinach?
No.
Back me up, Blade. If you switched to a spinach chicken diet, that would have fixed it, right? Maybe.
I mean, it would have helped. Everything that you intake into your body affects you. So, like, if I'm on some Popeye shit, yeah, I'd probably yoke up.
On some Popeye shit.
Okay.
You hear chicken and you jump to Popeyes.
Well, he said spinach.
Yeah, get the spinach. Squeeze the can, it pops out. Then he
So, like, obviously your foot was probably feeling weird and shitty. What was, like, when you were in the throes of drinking constantly, like, what was your body feeling like? Like, just turmoil every day, waking up feeling like, God, this is the worst? Or how bad did it get?
Actually, no. My body got fucking used to it. Like, I'm not a professional sports player, but professional sports players, when they go out and play the next day, their whole body feels wrecked. Mine kind of felt the same way, but I kind of almost treated it like, well, I have to work. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of put myself in a bad position where I can't just fire up my stream and like go walk a dog or go travel or whatever. Like, they want to see me get annihilated, and I realized that. So I felt like there's literally one time when I was in Missouri where a roommate bailed on me. The other one was broke, and so like I needed to pay all the rent like in 3 days, and I was like, okay, get a big ass bottle, let's do this. Like it's become not. It's still. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy drinking. It's still fun. It makes you feel good, but it became a job, and I'm sure we all went through that with like video games, where it's like we're not playing it really casually. We're playing to get some gameplay footage, and then a lot of people are like, "Hey, do you want to play?" I'm like, "I've already got my video, dude. I'm good. I don't want to play right now."
Yeah.
Because people old friends hit me up, and they're like, "Hey, you want to go out drinking?" I'm like, "I don't drink for free. Like, I'm not going to. I'm not going to go
Professional
out
drinker. All right.
I'm not.
You think
I'm
I just
not
give this
gonna go
away?
out. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to fucking like. You only have so many hangovers in your lifetime. I'm not going to waste it, or I'm not going to pay for it. At least that, you know what I mean? Like, they want me to go out and pay for it and do the Ubers and all. I'm like, I'm.
Tell me if this fits you, Blade. So I heard who's the late night talk show host? He's retired now. Was an alcoholic.
Jay Leno.
Nope. He talked about Britney Spears.
David
had a
Letterman.
really compelling monologue. Scottish.
Oh, Craig Kilborn.
Probably. Anyway, is that his name?
It's either Craig Kilborn or I'm almost.
He was kind of
positive it is.
he was kind of a womanizer.
He was definitely flirty on the show.
Good-looking guy.
IRL
Always
womanizer?
flirty.
Yeah, he was super duper flirty. But I thought
Yeah.
that was like him being charming and almost a bit. I don't know if he was a real life womanizer. Anyway,
Craig
Well,
Ferguson.
it's charming if the girl
Craig
thinks he's
Ferguson?
cute. If the girl doesn't think he's cute, then it's creepy. It's really the judge is whoever he's hitting on.
yeah, she may have felt compelled to act like he's cute because she's on his show and doing it.
Yeah.
There's a power imbalance. Anyway, it was the second one. Who was his name?
Craig Ferguson.
Craig
Ferguson.
Kilborn was also a host of a show, but different. Anyway,
Wasn't he the first host of the Daily Show?
I don't know. I just closed the link.
I don't know, but he
What-
talked about
well,
his
whatever.
drinking one time, and he said that Like some people have a drink and they say, all right, that's enough, or one or two. But when he has a drink, it's a different thing. Like he doesn't stop. He just keeps going until he runs out of things to drink. That's his, like, it's almost a foreign idea for him that you would have two or three and just call it quits. Like, why would you do that? More is more. Is that how you think you're wired, or are you something different?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I will tell you this right now. We've done a bunch of studies, and I figured out that if I had a good meal, had a good rest, basically like a good start to them. If I drink 3/4 of a fifth of Jägermeister, I will be super extra drunk, but I won't go over that edge. And we did that, and I got there, and I'm just like,